Teacher boy Tim, the handsome liberal, depending on who you ask. Good to have you folks here this Saturday evening or late Saturday afternoon, depending on how you want to look at it. But I think we all are aware by now that we are officially at war with Iran. I'm assuming some folks who don't want that label affixed to President Trump, who has been, who campaigned on not starting any new wars. So I'm going to assume there's going to be at least a few MAGA that's going to come up and say, well, we're not at war, but this is war. We're attacking them. They're attacking us. Both sides are using their military to do it. That is a war. You don't have to actually put boots on the ground to be at war with another nation. If you guys are both lobbing ordnance and weapons at each other, we've destroyed places, I guess facilities, killed individuals in Iran, and they've responded in kind by trying to get access to American assets that are near their region. I don't believe they have the capabilities to strike anything in the mainland USA. Now, I've heard rumors about hypersonic weapons. Hypersonic missiles travel at like 5 times the speed of sound or even faster, and they're virtually impossible to take out. So if you fire a hypersonic weapon at another country, as long as it can reach, ain't much that country's going to be able to do to stop it. But I'm not for certain that Iran has that, and that's not even up for debate. Fact is, the United States, with our many bases and assets all over the globe, you don't need to strike the U.S. mainland. You can get revenge on the United States all over the place. We got bases, and that's what they're doing. They've struck Saudi Arabia, I believe Jordan, I believe Kuwait, Bahrain. They're striking targets that are in their region. And that's another unfortunate thing, is that if we lose Americans and stuff like this, just like in Iraq when we lost Americans and in Afghanistan, it ain't, in my opinion, this is my point on this. I don't think it's that the folks in the Middle East are that bad. I think it's more or less that we're putting our people in harm's way. You're not hearing about Iraq or Iran or any of them striking and taking the lives of Americans that are here. It's Americans that are in their areas that are getting taken out. So if you're not in their areas, you don't have to worry about this stuff. But we keep sending people in harm's way. And I see in the comments, Green Lantern said, no new wars, they said. Well, it was all about rapists and murderers too, remember? I mean, you say one thing to get in office, but once you get in office, you do something different. But yeah, President Trump, one of his claim to fame was, unlike all the other presidents, we didn't have any new wars under his first term. He has certainly flipped that on his end. I believe he's attacked 8 nations. I believe he's already attacked 8 nations in the first year. I know for certain he struck target, obviously taking out Maduro in Venezuela, and now we got Iran. He struck Syria. I think he was allegedly trying to save Christians from persecution in Nigeria. That's 4. I believe there's 8 if I think about it long enough, but he struck 8 countries in just a year's time. So he's definitely not running on. Another one would be Gaza. We've also been involved in that. So the thing is, he's certainly not running on no new wars. He's running. I bet he's not governing on no new wars. He is governing on being the world's police. That should be pretty clear. We are the world's police under President Trump. Maybe, so to speak, on steroids. Miss Mobetta, thank you very much. And Handsome Lib, what's up? Good evening. Handsome Conservative, we're starting a live. I mean, we're at war with Iran, and it's Trump's war. It's Trump's war. Here's the one of the questions I want to discuss with you fine folks is, if Iran was a necessary evil that needed to be dealt with, why not go to Congress? He's been in office for over a year now. Iran, he's been accusing Iran of what they did for this strike yesterday the whole time he's been president. Not to mention, I'm assuming even the Biden administration had a few choice words for Iran. Trump had choice words during his first term. So there was ample time to put this before Congress, let them and make the case properly and do what you got to. Why do it? Why do it unilaterally? If it really needed to be done, why not go through Congress? Is going through Congress become just unnecessary? Why not go through Congress? Also, I will point out that I don't believe any of our allies, other than Netanyahu and Israel, who are actively involved in the attack, none of our other allies, if I'm correct, have stated that this was a necessary aggression that needed to be done. Out of the G8 nations, or is it the G7 or G8? I think it's the G7. They got rid of Russia, I think. So I think it's the G7, whatever it is. I don't believe any of them, other than Israel, is on board with what's going on in Iran. I'm talking to France's, the Germany's, the Poland's, the Norway's, all of these countries that are considered our allies. I don't believe Italy, none of these countries. Is there anyone? Now, in the comments, Cece says the United Kingdom is sending troops. I have not heard of that. You're saying that the United Kingdom is sending troops to engage Iran? I have not heard of that. Now, I will say this. When Iran started bombing other countries, here's the take. Iran responded with us bombing them by taking swings at our assets in the region. Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan, places like that we have bases and we're using their airfields and things like that. It's almost like if we went to war with Russia, with Cuba being a friend of Russia, if Cuba allowed Russia to use its airfields or refill their planes or whatever, America would strike Cuba because you're making their attack either easier or in some cases possible when it may not be possible. They may not be able to fly all the way from Russia to over here to bomb cities, but you're allowing them to land in Cuba, refill, and then they can go bomb Cleveland or whatever. So we would bomb their facilities in Cuba, which could obviously kill Cuban nationals. Well, Iran is doing that. We're using assets out of Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and some of the other countries, I believe Kuwait and things like that. So even though folks are suggesting it makes Iran look like they're just, I don't know, going crazy by bombing all these countries. No, it's places that are cooperating in the strike against their country. So, I mean, it's exactly what we would do. So when folks are saying that other nations have got on board to help, well, yeah, I mean, they were already on board when they were allowing America to use their countries to launch the attack. They already were on board. You have to know that if you let a nation use your sovereign territory to launch an attack, you're in that conflict now. You are now in that conflict. You can't come bomb one of our cities and then go land in the Dominican Republic and don't expect us to start targeting the DR. It's just like that. So if you fly from Kuwait and you drop bombs on Tehran or something like that, well, when you go back to Kuwait, they're going to start trying to destroy the planes that are on the ground there. So I don't know if Iran is outside of the boundaries with that. I think that's just something we all would do. I'm certain we would be okay with bombing a nation that was helping one of our enemies bomb us. I'm sure that you would get widespread support in America to do that. So I think Iran is only doing what we would do. But I do want to hear from you folks whether or not you favor what Trump is doing, whether you think it's a good thing, whether you think it is something that'll benefit America, et cetera, et cetera. It's a good thing for harmony on the planet. So we'll certainly say that. And yes, I say it to your face, says Anson. Well, perhaps you get a chance, you come up, we'll bring you right up, and you absolutely can do that. But I'd like to know, I would also like to hear why. I would like to hear why, because I'm curious as to why only Israel and America seems gung-ho on preventing Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon when all the other nations in the region are not like that. Even with Saudi Arabia and Bahrain and all these folks that have had parts of their country struck now, they've never been talking about Iran should never be able to obtain a nuclear weapon. Why is that only America and Israel that seem to be beating that drum? So we're going to talk about that. Also, most of the conversation is going to be about this war. And by the way, Netanyahu, breaking news just came out not long ago before I came live. Netanyahu, the prime minister, whatever he is of Israel, he stated that there are growing signs that suggest the Ayatollah in Iran has been killed. So we didn't just target facilities. You know, in the beginning, it was, we got to stop their nuclear program or whatever. No, they tried to kill the leader of Iran. Just like during the Gaza-Israeli war. Israel, listen, say what you want about Israel. Israel is not to be fucked with. They kill heads of state. When they go to war, they do not go to war to stop your war machine. They go to war to stop mankind. They go to war to stop the human being that may be behind it. We don't normally do that. America doesn't, not as of late. I mean, we didn't try to deliberately take out Saddam Hussein, for instance, because we captured him and handed him back to his own people. We don't normally kill heads of state. I believe in 1974 under Gerald Ford, we signed an agreement that we would no longer target heads of state. Israel must not be part of that. Israel kills heads of state. So that is what's coming out now, is that they may have killed the head of state in regards to Iran. So we'll talk about that. Also, I do want to play a quick, I'm having a Biden moment. I want to play a quick clip for you before we start taking calls and going to the box. By the way, I'm going to ask you to tap the screen, get the likes up to 15,000. If you're watching us on YouTube, smash that like button. Now, this is just some guy on the internet talking, but what he is saying, I'm curious if there's any validity to this. I want you to hear this. This is totally off the topic of Iran, totally off of that topic. I had a viewer send this to me. MAGA, one of my MAGA viewers, nothing wrong with that. Now my viewer favored this. I am somewhat concerned with this, but I don't know if it's even valid in the least. I don't know if it's actually something they're trying to do, something they have done, or merely a pipe dream of something off of a MAGA wish list. But I want you to hear this because he sent it to me and get your opinion.
We have some serious news right now that not enough people are talking about. Kansas has begun revoking the driver's licenses of trans residents in the state. And not just that, a new bill now has created a bounty hunter type system in which residents of Kansas can sue trans people for $1,000 if they see a trans person try to use a bathroom that is not aligned with their, quote, sex at birth. The bill, which was passed, SB 244, has empowered the Kansas DMV to essentially send out letters revoking the driver's licenses of trans residents across the state, and has now gone so far as to create this bounty hunter system where trans residents can be sued for $1,000 every time any person in Kansas sees them in the bathroom, the quote unquote wrong bathroom as defined.
I heard enough, but what the hell is that? What is that?
We have some serious news right now that not enough.
I don't want it to keep playing, but what the hell is that? So we'll talk about that, and I don't know where to go with that because that is outrageous in my opinion. I don't know what's the purpose of it, but I do see some folks and some dude talking says Cheeto. That's what I'm thinking. I'm hoping it's just some dude talking, but I do see some folks in the comments. And keep in mind, he did give the actual bill number behind it. So it doesn't sound solely like some dude talking. He actually did read off the bill. So we'll talk about this. Anyway, so looking in the comments straight off the bat, how do you folks feel about what the Trump administration is doing with Iran. It just simply put, justified or not, type that in the comments. If you think it's justified, type J. You think it's not, type N. I'm curious to see J or N, justified or not. Unilaterally bombing Iran, no support from Congress, no apparent support on the world stage outside of Israel until Iran started bombing other countries. Then, yeah, they're pissed off. But outside of that, there was no one suggesting we need to bomb Iran immediately. And no new war, says NPC. Impeach, says Antonio. I don't think that's going to happen, though. So some folks do believe it was justified, but there are some folks. So it's 6.5 dozen of the other. I'll tell you this, which in favor, better yet, in defense of President Trump. We've had so many administrations stating that Iran does not need to get their hands on atomic weapons because of the whole death to America thing and stuff like that, that it does open the door for President Trump or somebody else to take action against Iran and get widespread support. Because we've had several administrations that have been unfriendly to Iran's ability to obtain nuclear weapons. So I think that's going to instantly help President Trump out because a lot of people buy into that. So we'll see. But you're defending Trump. Wow, pathetic, says No, I'm not defending Trump. I'm saying that I believe that if Biden had done this, there would be a lot of people in the country that would be favorable to it. I believe if Trump did it in his first term. I believe if Obama did it. I believe if George W. Bush did it. Because we've been hearing that Iran is a state sponsor of terror for a long time. And I'll tell you this, as long as we keep riding with Netanyahu and Israel, that ain't going away. Israel's going to have a problem with Iran until it's no longer a nation. Thank you for that good galaxy coming from, I didn't see who sent that, but thank you very much. That says little baby. Appreciate that. Thanks for the TikTok cap. So let me go straight to the box. Tap the screen, get the lights on up. Do you favor this? And I don't know, that whole transgender thing, I'd be curious to see what anyone has to say. Now, little baby, it's a hell of a name. Good evening.
Hi, my little Pookie. My little Ryan.
You in these accounts.
You like my grandson's picture?
Your
It's
what?
a little anime. That's my little grandson. You better not flub today, Boogie. I promise you I'll bust you in your chops.
But what about the notion that Iran is a state sponsor of terror, constantly yelling death to America? Did Trump not do the right thing?
Actually, they're not doing that towards us, the people that don't like them. They're doing it to the orange orangutan. They said they have nothing against us as the people, but they sure do have against him. And I hope they kidnap his ass. That's just my personal
Okay, well,
feeling.
obviously kidnapping the commander-in-chief is not going to happen, but
You don't know that?
they're not going to
We
kidnap.
don't know.
How the hell you expect something like that to happen from
And
Iran?
throw him at 1600 in the boondocks. Go get it.
Are you high? They're not going to kidnap them.
Hell yeah, I'm high as hell. I gotta fuck with you. I'm high as shit.
They're not. Okay, well, let me be clear with you. Nothing's going to happen to President Trump. He's going to live to an
You
old
don't
age,
know
very
that.
wealthy.
He might just like take one more Big Mac and kick the bucket. You never know.
Do you spend all your waking hour wishing for bad things to happen to Trump?
Not really. I be getting high and stuff, but then it pops up in my mind thinking, damn, why do we gotta live in misery? Why is my groceries always fucking high? And then he's like, did he not say, didn't that little orange Cheeto head mofo say he don't want no new wars? Why are we going into one?
And I see in the comments. Someone named Jesus says you're discussing war with a chick that's high as a jet. So
And I can afford it too, though. I own my dispensary. I go up in there and I get my own chunky.
Oh my God, that's
and
funny
though.
though.
Motherfucker pay for it neither. I grow my shit, okay? Yeah, I'm the boss.
Yeah, I mean I get it, but I don't know. With him, this country has been accused of saying death to America before he came along. Is he not doing something that no other American leader was willing to do?
No. He's just doing it for the oil or something. He's doing it for something. Something's in it for him. And we don't need to go do this shit. Why do we have to? Why do we have to go to WAR? Why? I thought he wasn't. I swear to God, these motherfuckers said that black women and women, we got PMS and we're emotional and we'll be in the war. But isn't this orange orangutan no good for nothing, trailer trash? Isn't he putting us in a war? So who has the feelings?
What about the notion that he's doing this not for oil or resources, but for the safety of Americans?
Really? Really?
If they're yelling death to Americans, these people are a danger to us in the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Tim, get off your knee. I swear to God, I swear to God, that uncooked protein is messing with your brain. Would you like some ganja? I got some good shit. It will put you on your ass, Tim, instead of that uncooked protein.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. And Evil B Babu says,
I bet
hold
you
on.
don't.
Yeah.
You don't want
Hold on.
you want
Evil B
uncooked
Babu
protein.
says, Tim,
You
good
don't want no
afternoon.
ganja.
Tim, good afternoon. We voted for no new wars. We also voted for poopy pants. Trump ain't shit. Oh my God. Well, we did vote for no new wars, but is it possible?
I voted for 25,000 for the people that get the first home. I voted for people to keep their food stamps. I voted for people to keep their ACA. I voted for a black woman that knew what the fuck she was talking about and would have put us in no new wars. I voted for her. I didn't vote for this orange orangutan, no good for nothing, trailer trash ass. I didn't vote for that. What you talking about, Willis?
Well,
wait
a minute. The claim is Trump, billionaire businessman. We needed a businessman to run this country. Kamala Harris is not a
businessman that got 6 bankruptcies and don't know shit about nothing. Don't even know that the geek. You know what's so messed up? I bet he can't even cook a steak. He thinks that the prices everything is going down. The rent is going down. He's so delusional. No, bitch, I didn't have. That's your white people. You guys like handouts.
Well, speaking of delusional, Cedric Haney in the comments says you voted for handouts.
I voted for handouts. I don't get handouts.
You mentioned ACA. You mentioned food stamps.
Okay, you'll cook a little bit, and you know what? You'll sit your little ugly ass down and shut the hell up for a minute. I want to cook because unfortunately, our black asses and our Mexican asses and our Dominican asses, we don't get the food stamps like that. We don't get the luxury that we get our hands out and we get shit handed to us. No, that's the white team, man. They made that for you people, not for our asses. They put us out in the fields and shit. What are you talking about, Willises? That's why they say black jobs, they want us back up in the fields picking cotton and stuff. Don't get that shit twisted.
Well, speaking of getting it twisted, Aaron in the comments says you voted for free crack pipes. I don't know, but
that's the white people. What the fuck? I smoke ganja. The only thing that happens to me is I get lazy and I get smacked up, and then I want to eat. You feel what I'm saying?
I mean, I feel you, but at the same time, okay, you got protesters in Iran being slain by their leadership. If President Trump with Netanyahu has taken out the leadership in Iran, they could have saved tens of thousands of people.
Why do you like to drink the uncooked protein on God? Why do you like? I like chocolate milk, and I like my vitamin D, and I like BBC. Why can't you come to our side and get some chocolate cookies?
Listen, I don't watch.
Live your best life instead of caping for the white team man that's going to unalive your ass.
Wait a minute. What do you think I do? Watch CNN all day? I watch BBC.
Yeah, no, you be watching Fox News.
No, I don't. Hold on. No, you're not listening. I watch. You said you like BBC. I don't watch CNN. I watch some BBC too.
That went over your head, deleting them out. Never mind.
British Broadcasting Company. British Broadcasting Company. You don't watch BBC?
Yeah, shut up. You know what? You're not even a freaking league. Golly, you really are true vanilla. You don't even know what BBC is, for God's sake. Damn.
Yes, I
vanilla.
Yes, I have BBC. I got it on the app.
No, you really
I got it on the app.
BBC, honey.
I got it right on the app.
Vanilla, short end of the stick vanilla, because your ass, you're so special.
I got it right here.
Not today.
I got plenty of BBC on my phone. I got it on my app. I got it on the computer.
I bet you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick in the comments.
I got it all over the place.
Okay.
I got it in my inbox and everything else.
Real quick in the comments. Evil Bibu says, yeah, Trump is a orange crazy orangutan ape. He needs to be put back on his leash. He is going too far. Always saying obliterated. Yeah, he did use obliterated again. He did use obliterated again.
The monkeys are cute as shit. Let's not knock the apes down. They're cute as hell. The little fur balls. He's an ugly fur ball.
What the hell are you?
He's like a minion of a cockroach, like a snow cockroach. You know what I'm saying?
What the hell are you? What are you talking about?
Your president, the one that you like to suck it up, like to drink the uncooked protein. You don't even know what BBC is. That's why I know your ass is vanilla. Golly, dude.
I'm fucking with you. I know what BBC
you're not fucking with me. You know.
I know what BBC is.
I know you. That's why you're blushing as hell. You know you white as shit, man. That's why you gotta quit drinking that bleach and that uncooked protein.
This is a political program with your warped mind.
Political. Let me tell you something. We have the good half, the BBC, and that has the shit up in there that gives us good protein. Then we have the other half that gives us salmonella and everything else, and they leech off of everything. They want to unalive our asses. That's why they don't like our asses. Yep. Pick what side you're on. I'm going for.
How about picking the side? The side with the red hat that protects American citizens. Protects American citizens.
Hell no. I would not. That, no, honey. That's, girl. I can't even touch that. Do you know that?
Okay.
I can't touch nothing like that. That's like, damn.
I want to ask you this. If they literally are yelling death to America, what the hell is wrong with what Trump did?
See, like that guy came out and said he's not saying that. He's saying that to the president. And probably to all his little maggots. Hell, let them have them. Go ahead, 1,600.
Well,
go get them. And all the little maggots and the ones that live in the hotels and shit, the ones that are begging for handouts, go get their asses. Go get all the ones that voted for this shit.
Well,
don't come for my fat ass. I'm just smoking.
They voted to feel safer. They don't think Kamala Harris was the one to do that.
Let me tell you guys. Let me break this shit down to the F wads that's in the back that got the education from the Cracker Jack box. The interbred mofos. We're not safe. Oh, we're not safe. This just got us into a whole world of shit. Because if you think they can't hit us over here, it's called sleeper cells over here, Pookies and Ray Rays, and you uncooked protein meat that voted for this shit, that don't know shit, never gonna be shit. Your mama ain't a bread with your uncle and don't know who your daddy is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question posed by one of the viewers. This is an interesting question. Now you lean left. Sandra says, what?
I lean far to the left to the point I like my BBC.
Okay, well let me put the BBC down and listen to me. Sandra says,
at the moment,
what has the Democrats done for you your whole life?
What has the Democrats done for me? Well, and when Biden was in office, I opened 2 dispensaries. Yay, Grandma! I got 2 dispensaries going. Okay, I was making the money. Okay, then he put more money into the black colleges than any other president. Yeah. And then he did what he did for white people, gave them the EPT. He didn't give it to our black and brown asses. He gave it to your white T asses. To feed all your little rugrats.
Well, I'm hearing I'm hearing particularly from the likes of Black
I
MAGA.
like my civil rights too that
Yeah.
that they gave us. You know, the Democrats did.
Yeah.
I like the fact that we got black and brown people, we got white tea people, we got Chinese people on the Democrat side. It's not all white tea on the other side. You feel what I'm saying? We're so diverse. The Democrats are so diverse. We leave.
Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me tell you something. Puff Ninja 420, he's 420 friendly, says she literally is just spewing bullshit. Literally nothing she's saying is true. 420 friendly.
Yeah, if you go on my page, you'll see all my dispensaries and shit. They be saying what I be smoking on.
Yeah, but he's saying what you're saying has zero merit to it. Just a bunch of bullshit.
Let me tell you something about grandma and these knucklehead motherfuckers that don't know shit, never gonna be shit. I would bring the statistics and the facts. Like you already saying the border's closed. No, the border's wide open like Melania Trump.
No,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The facts and the statistics and all the numbers are in, and they even say his numbers are down. That means less secure the border. That means people are walking through the border like Melania Trump's legs. You can't even feel the walls no more. You feel what I'm saying?
I don't. First of all, I'm going to cite what Puff Ninja said. The idea that the border is no more secure. No, you don't want to hear the facts. The idea that the border is no more secure under Trump than it was under Biden, that does sound like bullshit. The border is much more secure under Trump.
Get that cock out your mouth. Until at least when I suck dick, it's BBC, and I know what the protein's coming in my system. Get the white shit out your mouth. It's delusional. You're delusional. Okay? Let's get the facts straight, Pookie. You fucking undercover ass white. Oh, golly. That's why I can't be nice to you. Even when I'm high as shit, I cannot be nice to your ugly ass because you be over here saying, hey, the border's so secure. Name me one policy, mofo, that the border got secure under. I'll wait.
It ain't. Somebody said that woman needs an exorcism. It ain't got nothing to do with. It ain't got nothing to do with policy because Trump is doing everything.
It does.
You ain't hearing me. No, it doesn't.
Get the white cock out your like that Uncle Prince is eating your brain like syphilis. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, it does.
Okay.
Because we had two border bills. One when Biden first came. I gotta be nice.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. You're asking about policy. You realize Trump is governing via executive order. There is no policy.
That's via executive order, and they can go bye-bye anytime when he gets out of office. That's not a policy, Pookie. You know, come on, man. I know you can't be this damn delusional. I know you like the white man, and you like the uncooked protein of vanilla JJ that looks totally disgusting. But you know, that's my personal opinion. I like chocolate coochie.
I think you are defining.
Really
I think your answers literally define what derangement syndrome is towards this guy. You just don't like him.
Let me tell you something. I'm not like you. Okay, I'm not gonna kiss their ass. Okay?
Nothing to do with kissing their ass.
Yes, you do.
No,
you over here saying.
Hold on. Let me ask you this to start out. If he did something right, would you even give him credit for it? If Trump did something right, would you even give him credit for it?
What did he do right?
That ain't what I asked you. I didn't ask you.
I told you yes. One thing I'll give him credit for when he does right. You want to know what it is?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Go to the pits of hell. One more Big Mac, and he'll just croak. I will get. Oh my God! I'll get some champagne. I will blow the blood. Yep.
So in other words, nothing. You wouldn't do.
Well, what? Okay, Tim. On some real shit. No trolling. No joke aside about BBC or nothing. What has this mofo done for us? What has he truly done? What has he done for us? He raised up our grocery prices. Our gas rates are going down because what is he doing? We're depending on more of OPEC than we ever had before. We used to not have to depend on that, and our gas prices were average. Okay, now it's going to go high because we're going to go to war. He put us in a war. Okay.
What if the war makes Americans safer abroad? You ever thought about that?
You're worried about abroad. You need to worry about us in here because they got sleeper cells.
No, but really, what if the war makes us safer abroad by getting rid of Ayatollah Khomeini or whatever? They're still saying that Israel is suggesting he was killed in that strike. So if
you know what? We are. Let me tell you something. I have nothing against Jewish people. I cannot stand that dude, that Allahu, whatever. Because they're two of best friends. The far right. They don't want us. Let me tell you.
You didn't answer my question. You didn't answer my question. My question was, if he does something that's right by America, would you even give him credit for it? Yeah, you said you wanted to eat a Big Mac and croak.
Yeah, unalive. Do you know how many people is Tim? Come on now, Tim. Do you know how many people want him unalive?
What does that got to do with what I'm asking you?
That should be a good thing. I answered your question.
You do realize he could be saving the lives of thousands of protesters in Iran.
Let me tell you something, Tim. I know you like the uncooked protein and stuff, and hey, more power to you. You like syphilis and shit eating your brain. Hey, more power to you. But let me tell you something. This isn't about us. He don't give a damn. He went on national TV in the middle of the night and said, we might lose our people. We might lose some of our servicemen. Who does that shit? Who does that?
That kind of...
They was supposed to say no shit like that. And you know who I feel bad for? Is the Navy that's over there right now that didn't even want to be over there, that wanted to come home, that's stuck over there.
Okay, you're telling me he is wrong for going on television in the middle of the night and advising us that, look, during a military conflict, some people could lose their life. That's just being honest.
We shouldn't. He shouldn't even be saying this as a WAR. Congress should be up in this shit.
But what?
They should have declared WAR. Not just him. He broke the Constitution
I don't see. You're giving President Trump hell for telling the truth. People can lose.
Oh my God.
During a military conflict.
You're delusional.
No, you just don't like the guy. You're blinded by hate for him.
Do you know that he wasn't even supposed to do this without Congress? He just broke the Constitution again. He wasn't supposed to have done this.
Well, I mean, I guess he would deem it some kind of presidential emergency or something.
Oh, so. Yeah, whatever, Tim. You know, I know you like the white cock, the
dude with white and cock and BBC and CNN.
What he's doing is against our Constitution, okay? It really is. And they're going out in the middle of the night saying, you know what? We might lose our great people and stuff for something that he shouldn't have been talking about right now because he hasn't even got the permission of Congress because Congress is not even in session yet.
Well, we'll see how that plays out. I got to move it on.
You know what, Tim?
Go ahead.
You know what?
Real quick, I give you the last word.
I'm on my little spy mission, on my little troll page. I'm coming back on my real page, and I'm gonna bust you in your fucking chops. I'm gonna make you come black. Okay? I'm so sick of your whiteness that you make me sick. Come and try to get some chocolate coochie something. You gotta do something because your ass is too damn fucking white for me.
This has nothing to do with race. I gotta go. You crazy. This has nothing to do with race. What Trump did is targeted a nation that were targeting their own citizens, yelling death to America. And a lot of folks agree with that. I want to hear from you folks. That's what I want to. I have my own reservations on it. I do have opinions on it as well, and those will come out. But certainly the part where my last caller was talking about getting permission from Congress, I agree with her on that part. I absolutely do agree with her on that part. If the mission was as legitimate as many Americans in the Trump administration believes, then you should have had no problem getting Congress to approve it. So I don't totally favor all the unilateral actions. I will go on record and say that. I don't look, if you're doing the right thing, you got control of Congress and the Senate. Why not just make it official? Why do everything unilaterally? Why do everything on your own? Meaning the next guy can come along and erase it all. Why not codify some of this stuff if you're really doing the right thing? So anyway, looking in the comments though, what Trump did is fold to the pressure from Netanyahu, hands on his Well, you know, the crazy thing is I saw somebody put in one of the video. I was watching a video, a Fox News clip on YouTube talking about the war breaking out, and somebody posted in the comment section, no matter who we vote for, we get Netanyahu. I'm assuming that was a Trump supporter that said, no matter who we vote for, we still get Netanyahu. That's crazy. Anyway, going back to it could have been the Democrats too, though, because the Democrats also were saying genocide Joe has got to go and things like that. But certainly sounds like somebody is suggesting that no matter what happens, the same dude is going to be leading us. So it is what it is. Going back to the box, we'll go to hockey. Who sent what? I heard something go through. Hockey do. Oh, Mike, the boss. Appreciate that. We'll go straight to the box. The hockey dude didn't come up, so we will go to Mike. Good evening, Mike. Get other countries out of our. Hang on a second. Get other countries out of our government decisions. I don't know if you can ever do that, Mike. We're at war with Iran. Is it a necessary evil?
Well. Aren't we on page 193 of Project 2025? I think it's page 193.
Taking on Iran is in Project 2025?
Yes, man. This is stupid. But listen, let me ask you this. Would we spend all of that money to send all of those aircraft carriers and Navy warships out there if this wasn't going to happen?
Yeah, before I answer that, I got News Nation on behind, and there's all sorts of Patriot batteries being fired up over Tel Aviv. So they're definitely, and this is live, so they're definitely getting attacked by Iran right now. They're firing all kinds of little rockets up trying to stop the, it's happening right now. But go ahead. What was your question again?
Dubai, Kuwait, Tehran, they've all been hit today. You did see that, right?
Yeah. Well, and I use the example in the monologue is that if we went to war with Russia and Cuba was allowing them to land there and refuel their planes and come strike Cleveland or something, we would strike Cuba. What Iran is doing is striking all of the proxies that are helping America.
Yeah, why wouldn't they?
Right, we would do it.
But this was predictable. I've been telling you this shit for a long. This was predictable. We were going to do it. We put all of those resources over there. We spent millions just to get all of those military warships and everything over there. You think we weren't going to do anything?
No, I think it was yeah. Once you commit that far with all the money and resources, yeah. Now Trump was saying that Iran wasn't coming to the negotiating table, but I agree with you. It wasn't nothing they were going to say that wasn't going to end up with them being attacked. The writing was already on the wall. We didn't send all of those assets over there to negotiate.
Absolutely not. And to Gangster Grandma's point, what she was accurate on, doing this in the middle of the night was for a reason. That bullshit he got up and did that press conference in the middle of the night was garbage. Now, he's already conceded that, there's going to be casualties, boots on the ground, and for what? What is this really about? What's this really about?
Well, I think if I had to give my best opinion, I think it's about doing Netanyahu's bidding. That's what I think it's about.
So they don't have to worry about being under threat when they start building out in Gaza. When they start building all of the resorts and everything in Gaza, they don't want to be threatened by Iran, so it's not deterring people from coming over there and spending money.
To some degree, Netanyahu wants to be like America, just in the Middle East. They want to be the Middle Eastern police.
Right. Now here's the thing. Again, Trump supporters, before you say anything to me in the comments, he lied to you and you bought a hook, line, and sinker. Because I thought...
What was the lie?
I thought that they had obliterated their ability to build and continue their nuclear program. I thought it was obliterated. Isn't that what he told us less than a year ago, that it was obliterated? What does obliterated mean in UK?
That means it's fucking gone. It's fucking gone.
So if it's gone, you can't build it back in a year, can you?
No. What I don't like is that not only did he say their nuclear ambition was obliterated, there was a report that came out within hours of him saying that. A leaked report came out and said that at best we had set their program back only a few months. And both Trump and I believe it might have been Marco Rubio, but certainly Hegseth, they started attacking the leaker and said it was bullshit. But the person came out and said, you ain't obliterated nothing.
Correct. And for you fucking penguins in the comments to just follow just because he lied to you. I don't give a fuck about AIPAC. It doesn't matter who they're getting money from. He told you that we did it to obliterate them. They sent that mission. They were doing all the kudos, how they sent the bombers over and they just dropped them and came back and it was over with, and it would take decades to rebuild. Less than a year, we're attacking them because we're afraid that they've somehow gotten to a point where they may be closer. You guys are fucking, I can't even talk as loud as I want to because I'm at a place for a voluntary event. You motherfuckers are sheeps. You are the worst kind of sheep I've ever heard in my life. This man lied to you 10 months ago, and now you're trying to obfuscate and try to say that we took it out of context. You guys are disgusting, man.
And I will say this.
You won't stand for shit.
Yeah, and I will say this. When Hegseth and Trump and I think Marco Rubio were saying the leaked reports were false about the fact that we had not obliterated their ambitions 7 or 8 months ago, I got to agree with you. Trump was lying, because if the leaker knew we had not obliterated that stuff, you got to be certain that Trump had been advised by the military that it's not obliterated, sir. So he knew when he was continuing to push that obliterated statement, it was not true, because there's no way in hell a leaker is going to get information about what remains in Iran, and Trump don't have it.
Jimmy just said it was obliterated like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. What are we talking about? Listen. Everybody first of all, tap the screen, share the live. It's almost 300 people in here.
Thank you.
You only got 20K. That's ridiculous. You know what, Tim? Keep me up here till you get to 50. They'll get to that number real quick.
So,
but seriously.
But I'm going to ask you what I asked my last caller. What if what he is doing actually does make Americans safer in the region?
I don't believe. First of all, that's a huge if. It's a huge if. Number one. Number two, that was not the intent.
What is the intent? What is the purpose of them doing this? What is the intent? You mentioned Project 2025. Now, you read the entire 900 plus page document. Mm-hmm. What do they say is the reason for why they would take on Iran, or better yet, take over Iran?
Well, what they're saying is the same rhetoric, right? About the Islamic State and the T groups and all of that shit. But what they're doing is trying to secure that area so they can make more money and build and take advantage of any minerals over there, take advantage of the region for Netanyahu. And at the end of the day, it's the distraction. But they're willing now they've crossed this other line. You U.S. soldiers, America first, military first, get the trans out of the military so you can be stronger people. You're going to fuck around and have a draft coming on your children soon. And the ones they want are the white ones. See,
that ain't no. You're telling me if we end up going, wait, hold on. You're telling me we end up going to war, they going to only draft white people to defend this nation and let the brothers sit around and chill?
No, that's not what I said.
Oh,
what I'm saying is if they want to create a homogenous military of white people that look like them, the only way you can do that is to continue to draft them.
Yeah, but that
ain't my words.
No, I think what they would do, because I mean, you got to think about how America was during this most racist periods. You're gonna still put the Negroes out there in the more precarious positions, like the front line. All the officers will be white, but you're not gonna have a Negro-less military. I don't think that'll ever happen.
Take all the blaggers first. We want to make sure we get all the blaggers signed up. The 20% that voted for him and the 8% of women that voted for him, y'all take y'all stinking asses right on over there and sign up. But here's the thing, Tim. What I said was true. They want the military to be homogenous, right? They're getting people out.
I'm not sure about that. They want them to be heterosexual. And in the comments, Hansel Conservative says, of course it matters that Democrats and Republicans are both paid by AIPAC. That makes no sense. So he's saying two birds of the same feather.
Yeah, whatever. I don't give a fuck about. See, it's so funny how they backpedal into this, the both sides. They always go into this both sides doing shit.
Well, it ain't. No, Mike, it ain't just they. It ain't just they. It ain't just. There were plenty of liberals saying genocide Joe has got to go and saying we were back in Israel. So liberals also felt that Biden was working too much with Netanyahu.
Yes, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is those Trump supporters that voted for this shit, that have been continuing to bury their heads in the sand and say we're taking shit out of context and we don't understand this. And the MAGA, all these people that still support this, I want you guys to sit down and eat a big slice of this shit cake. You guys asked for it. They baked it for you. Now, do not slide that shit over to me saying you want to try it. No, I do not. This is your cake. This is your shit. You guys get out there and support this because we're going to lose young soldiers for what, Tim? For what?
The same shit we lose them for all the time, either resources or American control somewhere.
Exactly. But I thought that they voted for no. He was going to stop all this conflict. All he's done is increase it.
Let me just say this, and I agree with the no new wars, and we voted to not get, be the world's police and things like that. I think what folks need to realize that are non-MAGA, this is me describing my beloved MAGA. I think folks need to realize that MAGA voted for Trump. Fuck the policies. Don't pay attention to anything he campaigned on. Pay attention to the man himself. They voted for Trump. So if he does the opposite of what he campaigned on, we voted for him, okay? Maybe he changed his mind. Maybe he evolved. Maybe he realized what he campaigned on was wrong. They voted for the man. The policies, yeah, okay, they sound good. But if he changed his mind, I'm still riding with him. So focus on the man. That's what they voted for. It doesn't matter what he does. They voted for him.
Those are cult members, Tim. You just described what a cult is, Tim. You literally listen. I want you to go play this back later on.
Oh my God!
And think about it. You just described cult members. That's what you just did.
I'm just saying they voted. If Trump says, we need to bomb Iran, MAGA's okay with that. If Trump says, look, we need to keep our enemies close. Maybe let's go meet him like when he went to meet Kim Jong-un, when he invited Putin over here. They're okay with that too. So it really don't matter what he does. They voted for the man, not the policies.
So who unalived Sharon Tate?
Who?
Was it Charles Manson or was it Sharon Tate?
Oh.
Was it Charles Manson or the people that he told to go do it, Tim?
The people that he told to go do it.
Okay. These are cult members, Tim. Plain and simple. These are cult members. Listen to me, Tim.
You sound like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
They agreed with everything until it wasn't good, and then now they agree with the complete opposite. How do you do that? You know what? Did you grow up? Let me ask you this: did you grow up around Crips and Bloods? Did you grow up around gangs?
Yeah, more like BDs and GD. Black Gangster Disciples, Latin Kings, and all. Four Corner Hustlers and all that shit. Disciples.
Do you ever remember them being involved with one and then going to the other? Do you ever remember seeing that?
That ain't safe.
Well, this is what MAGA do.
Once you in one, you ain't switching like that. That ain't safe.
Correct. Well, that's not what they're doing. They are crossing the street. He says no new wars, and then you go to war, and they will side with both. How can you do that?
I'm just telling you, they voted for the man, Mike. They voted for the man. It doesn't matter what he does. They voted for the man. They believe the man has the right vision. So if he changes his mind, there damn sure had to be a good reason why he did it. So we rolling with him.
I'm gonna say this. This is what I'm about to say is gonna be very controversial.
Well, first of all, before you say that, folks, tap the screen, get the likes on up to about 40,000. We can make that happen. A lot of you folks got lazy thumbs. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube or Instagram or Substack, smash that like button. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that like button. Give us a sub. We're here most weekdays. We don't block, ban, or censor. We are MAGA friendly, always are, always will be. Liberals are welcome as well. Go.
I'm gonna say this. If families have to receive that folded flag, if families have to nurse their veteran back to health because they're a disabled veteran because of their conflict, I pray that it's his supporters.
And Philly in the comments thought you were about to say something about race. Apparently Philly was wrong. But
yeah, he was wrong, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was completely wrong. Yeah, he was wrong.
If anybody has to suffer directly from these decisions, I pray that it's the people that support them, because the people that don't support it should not have to go through the anguish of dealing with the loss of a loved one behind their agenda that has nothing to do with strengthening America. Gas, let me tell you this. You guys might as well take a snapshot of your gas prices, because this will be the lowest that you'll see them for the rest of the presidency.
So you're saying this conflict? But I mean, we holding down Venezuela. I know they got the dirty gas, the dirty oil over there, but I mean, shit. I mean, if we end up taking out the head of state in Iran, can't we install a Western-friendly leader and still get the gas? Maybe even get it for cheaper. I'm telling you, Trump finds a way, man. This is what I'm being told.
You know what? I hope when you fart, it's wet. You just get on my nerves today. Did you hear what I said? I hope that if you fart, you gotta end your life.
You want me to shark?
I mean,
what the fuck? What the hell was that?
Listen, because you deserve that. You deserve to have a Nutty Professor moment right now. Damn it. I'm sick of you. Listen, at the end of the day, if people are going to have to suffer, it should be the people that supported him. I have a nephew who is, he's supposed to come home. He's supposed to come visit me next week. He's in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
He just enlisted about a year ago. I was trying to get him not to do it because of this, but he wanted to do his thing, right? Both his parents served. He wanted to do his thing. You know, now my anxiety is through the roof, not just for him, but for all these other families. And for what?
But when you say, wait, let me interrupt you, because Puff Ninja made a good point. Because you say, what is all this for? Puff Ninja says people think you can get freedom or maintain freedom without sacrifice. In other words, yes, I mean, we don't want to lose anybody, but there's a reason why you're in a free country, is what he's trying to indicate, that sacrifice has to happen. Freedom isn't free.
Okay, so tell me what freedom they're going over there to fight for, and I'll wait.
Maybe freedom to feel safe abroad.
Again, tell me where it's from, and I'll wait. These people are delusional. You talk about freedom. The one thing that you can't talk about freedom ain't free. The one thing that you haven't done, sleeper or anesthesia, you haven't had to fight like us for freedom or rights. You're talking about privilege. That's a difference. You guys think freedom is privilege. Freedom is not privilege. You guys want your privilege and you want to mix it with freedom. They're not the same.
Elaborate. What do you? I need to hear I need to hear your elaboration. What's making you say privilege? Elaborate on that.
Because what they think is a freedom is just to make themselves comfortable in their own privilege. There is no reason for us to be over in Iran. There's no resources that we need to exist, right? You remember a lot of what they're talking about. There's no freedom. There is nothing happening in Iran right now that puts our freedom in jeopardy right now. We have too many. You remember, hold on, Tim, we're the baddest fucking military on the planet.
Yeah.
We don't need to be over there doing this right now. This isn't about freedom. This is about these people getting resources and making people comfortable. To send, I want to find the person and the family. You watch, there's going to be a Trump supporter that's going to unfortunately lose somebody over there. They're going to think about it all differently. You know why? Because they won't be comfortable anymore.
I mean, we got Trump supporters. We got Trump supporters who have lost their loved ones to deportation. Some of them still support Trump. They just say, "I understand. You know, it's to make the border safe."
Yeah, and that's cult behavior.
Well, but wait a minute. There was a hell of a lot of Americans, including Trump, that believed the Iraq war was unnecessary or fabricated. But during that time, there were parents who, what they call them, gold star parents or whatever they call them, but they lost parents. I mean, they lost their children to the Iraq war. They didn't stop supporting Bush.
That's their prerogative. He lied about it. Well, we know he.
Shit, I mean, Mike, we say Bush lied about. I mean, since World War II, every damn conflict we've been in, we lied about.
Okay, and so what? But I thought he was supposed to be different. Wait a minute. See, listen. This is.
He's not different. He's not different. Okay. I can tell you that much.
Okay, then thank you. But here's what's worse. His lies are blatant. His motivation is on paper.
They voted for the man, Mike. They voted for the man. He can lie a few times. They voted for the man.
Absolutely, and so he might as well be Jim Jones, David Koresh, Charles Manson. It's all the same. These people are going to fall off the edge of the cliff. I just want them to be on.
You're putting them in some real bad company. You're comparing Trump to David Koresh and Jim Jones.
Listen, if they love it so bad, I would love to see somebody in the comments by a show of putting a 1 in the comments. Are you registering and volunteering to go? Put a 1 in the comments if you're putting a 1 in the comments to go sign up to go fight this conflict.
You do realize, Mike, according to YouTube and TikTok analytics, My audience is motherfucking baby boomers and Gen Xers. They ain't going to war, Mike.
Like, well, okay. Well,
That's going to war.
Listen, their sons or grandsons or granddaughters.
Yeah.
Are they doing that? Okay. You know what? You know why? They're not. They're not. You know what they're doing? Exactly what you just said. No, y'all go out there and fight that cause for us. And by the way, just real quick before I go, can you explain to me, since you brought up immigration, I didn't, how unemployment for the Black community was at an all-time low during Trump? It was going down during Trump's first administration, and even lower under Biden's administration, when they said we had all of these illegals pouring in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're supposed to be getting all of them out, and our unemployment's going up.
Well, because some of the people who are of color that are losing their jobs are being deported, and they're not here. Like the Haitians in Springfield, the cats and dog eaters, all of them were here illegally. Trump is kicking them people out. So some folks that are of color that are losing their jobs are caught up in Trump's immigration mess, and they're not here illegally. Like I said, they voted for the man. He promised to get rid of rapists and murderers, but his actual job is to get rid of as many people as possible. So some of that's in there, huh?
So another lie? Are you talking about another lie? Because if they're illegal immigrants, they wouldn't go to the unemployment records numbers. Now, would they?
Yeah, well,
because they're illegal.
I'm just telling you for a fact that everybody getting deported is not here illegally. There's thousands of people. I mean, the Venezuelans, when he got rid of temporary protected status, all the number of people that were here legally. So thousands of people that are not illegal immigrants are getting deported. So no, it's not just illegal immigrants, even though that's what they're telling you. It's way beyond just illegal immigrants.
So that's another lie, Tim.
Lie is a harsh word.
Listen.
Lie is a harsh word. Let's just say it wasn't accurate.
Listen, again, I'm about to let you go, and my parting words will be: if you sneeze or cough, I hope it's a wet fart. I do.
All right, Mike. I'm going to try not to shart in your honor.
No, I need you. I wish that upon you today. Only today. Tomorrow you can clean it up, but today, have a wet one, Tim.
Mike, I appreciate you coming through. That is awful. Hopefully, I guess that is not quite as bad as Gangsta Grandma, but close. Tap the screen, get us on up to Fiddy, Fiddy. Tim's been drinking orange Kool-Aid. No, I'm actually currently drinking a Diet Pepsi. No orange Kool-Aid. Incorrect. Gabriel. Okay, you guys are talking amongst each other. Trump has not declared war. Stop that BS. Let me read this comment because this one is a good one. Coming from who said that there? Michael says Trump has not declared war. Stop that bullshit, you demo rat. Not a Democrat, demo rat tard. Wow. TDS, Trump derangement syndrome idiots. Go love your own communist country. And Tim, Trump is not deporting U.S. citizens. First of all, I didn't say he was deporting U.S. citizens. I said he is deporting people that are not here illegally. There is a difference. If you come to America, let's say you came to visit from Australia, and you're on a 90-day visitor's visa, and they knock on your hotel room and deport you on day 30 when you still had 60 days to stay and you didn't do nothing wrong, you're being deported and you were not here illegal. They just came up with a reason for why they're going to change the rules and kick you out. That's what Trump is deporting a lot of people that are here legally. I didn't say they were U.S. citizens. So when you're pointing out me making statements of bullshit, it doesn't really help your case to do the same thing. Now, you also said something else I wanted to tackle. Unfortunately, the comment section moved on. The first part of your statement was what I wanted to address even more so, but shit. Oh, you said Trump has not declared war. What the fuck do you think what he's doing is? You think if another nation did to America what Trump is currently doing to Iran, that wouldn't be a declaration of war? If that ain't a declaration of war, what the fuck is? Yeah, I think, now look, you can defend Trump, favor what he's doing. I'm fine with that. A lot of things, there's plenty of cases where I can understand defending Trump, but bombing the capital city of a country actually to the point where now they believe the actual head of that country has been killed. How the fuck is that not a declaration of war? What is your definition of declaration of war at that point? Just because you didn't say it, what? So in other words, I could punch you in the face, but if I don't say I hereby declare a fight with you, we're not fighting. Look. You want to talk about bullshit? Sounds like you literally are joining a coalition where you go and do like boot camp to become a bullshitter. That's crazy to say we're not declaring war. I don't know what that is. Just because the words "I hereby declare war" doesn't come out of your mouth, it doesn't mean you didn't declare war. What Trump did, simply put, is an act of war. Period. It's an act of war. Just because he didn't utter the words, somehow, somewhere that means something different, huh? Okay. Anyway, they called it a conflict. Yeah. What Trump did, we would absolutely call an act of war if somebody did that to us. I don't care how much they called it a conflict. What Trump did is an act of war. There's no other way around it. In the comments, Sugar Source says Trump hates black people. Yikes. If you don't declare war, then you don't declare war. I don't care what you fucking declare. You don't have to look. It's just like we often talk about when we're getting into racism and shit like that. Do you have to yell the N-word to be a racist? I mean, people can see what the fuck you're doing. People can see what happened in Iran rather. Just because he didn't declare war, yeah, whatever. Let me go back to the box. The I did it. He didn't say weird war, so I guess that don't mean it. All right, I'm learning something. Going back to the box, folks. Tap the screen. Get the likes on up to 50,000. We'll go to Ryan Acker. Good evening. Welcome to the program. I hope Trump sends MAGA to fight the nuclear wars in Iran front lines. Well, that some of them will go. I'm assuming that some of the young. Now, listen. First of all, MAGA. I think that the younger generation, with the exception of younger white males, we're talking about under 25, under the age of 25. Other than young white males, most of the younger generation is not MAGA. And I understand why young white males are MAGA, because MAGA would be very beneficial for young white males. But still, I'm sure there are some people in the military that are young like that. You're talking front lines that are MAGA. I'm sure there's some. And they're not all white males, but overwhelming majority of them are. God bless these MAGA motherfuckers out of the country, says Judah. Wow. I tried to bring up a guest. I guess that didn't happen. We'll go on to the next. We'll go to King Finn. Ayatollah Khomeini was a war criminal and an oppressor. That guy, Brooke, I'll just tell you this. When you say Ayatollah Khomeini was a war criminal and oppressor, that almost is an opinion at this point, because there's a whole lot of people around the world that would refer to America as a war criminal and an oppressor. Depends on who you ask. King Finn. That's a long intro.
Oh, don't be mad. Don't get mad, because you've been fluffing like a motherfucker for the last 2 weeks. Every single time I try to get up, somehow magically the fucking show dropped. You know you fluffing. Everybody done seen it, right?
No.
Everybody see it. As soon as I try to get up on the panel, you start fluffing and the show drop.
King,
is you scared of what I'm gonna say?
King,
is that what it is?
You ain't gonna say shit compared to Gangsta Grandma. King, these shows.
I don't know, because I'm starting to believe that I might need to turn into Gangsta Grandma to get some of this fluffing off your chest. That Cheeto dust is getting real heavy now.
These shows are between, all of these shows are between 3 and 4 hours long. We're not stopping the show out of fear of any guests. So what did you come? Okay, then set me straight. What did you come up for today? What am I doing wrong?
You straight.
Set me straight. What am I doing wrong?
The fact that this war is a proxy war with China. What do you think is about to happen? Did you not hear the Iranian leader say we got sleeper cells over there waiting? They chilling. If this don't scare you and make you look at the fact that these idiots voted for a bigger idiot that's over there starting shit, believing what Bibi told him, because Iran was sitting at the table, ready to make a deal, listening to what was going on. Iran was ready to make a deal.
Well,
he listened to Bibi, and Bibi told him to tear that shit up, and that's what that idiot did. And then he declared war.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what I told Mike is that you don't send that many assets in that region to negotiate. I don't think Iran could have said anything. I mean, we were going to when we sent that much shit over there, the deal was already signed. Their fate was already sealed. We were going to attack. So getting them on the world stage to try to negotiate a deal was just a delay until we could get the rest of our equipment over there. But we were going to hit them.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree. Last week when they said the two of the biggest destroyers and aircraft carriers are going over there, we all knew it was a problem. But the only people that believed him were these idiots in MAGA. We said, oh yeah, he's probably just taking them over there, to protect the assets. Protect what asset? Because that's their land. That's just like when Great Britain, when the UK told him, don't try to use our airports. You're not using our bases. Take that shit somewhere else. That's why he brought the destroyers. Because UK told him, no, you're not doing that. We're not getting in it. And if you try to put us in it, it's going to be a problem.
But then I have to ask, though, with so many suggesting, and this goes well before Trump, so many suggesting that these folks have been saying death to America and all this shit. Is Trump not maybe doing a little bit of the right thing? I mean, we've had several administrations that have been talking about Iran as a problem.
Yep, we've had several administrations, and all of them keep doing the same dumb shit. Since Vietnam, America is the #1 terrorist organization. We continuously go to other places and stick our nose in business that ain't ours. The idea that Trump, Whiskey Pete, and the whole administration has not been pulled in front of the Hague for those acts of piracy in Venezuela is completely demonstrous. I don't understand how you can see that as anything.
But is there not a hell of a lot of Venezuelans that are happy that Trump got rid of Maduro as well?
Yeah, Tim, but that's still not our problem.
I get that.
If they want to get rid of Maduro, guess what? It's a democratic process. They need to deal with that themselves. That's not our job. We are not the World Court or the ICC, bro. I'm
not arguing with you in regards to what we're doing is not officially our job. But if they took the route you're saying, where as opposed to America taking Maduro out, it's up to them to rise up and do that for their own government. You're talking about thousands of lives would have been taken. By Trump doing it, 30 some odd folks in trying to defend Maduro lost their lives, and the job has been done. Same thing with what has happened in Iran. If the Iranian citizens rose up and tried to take down an oppressive government, they were killing those people. Trump steps in. Does he get credit for all the lives he's saved?
No, he doesn't get credit. What happened after Iran, Tim? What happened? Did 9/11 not happen after Iran?
Oh, you mean Iraq? Wait, Iran.
I'm sorry, you're right, Iraq. Did we not have to take the credit for that? Because that's what happened after Iraq, the Iraqi war, the 20-year war that we set up.
No, well, you got your time periods. No, we had Desert Shoe in the early 90s. No, but the after September 11, that's when the Iraq war began. So that's September 11 is before the 20-year war.
What I'm telling you is it's the same shit over and over and over again. We go stick our business in somebody else's our nose in somebody else's business. We then attract how many fucked up parts, and then there's an attack on home soil. That dude said they got sleeper cells in the home soil right now. You don't think these people are mad because we're over here starting that shit?
I get that, but what if it's a bluff? I mean, didn't Saddam Hussein make it sound like he could kick ass if we came over there? Didn't Maduro talk a bunch of shit before? I mean, that's what they do. They're going to talk shit.
Tim, again, it's us sticking our nose in somebody else's business. They can do what they want to in our country. Just like, do you see them over there? Do you see them over here snatching Trump and JD Vance? Because they should be.
Well, you're not
because that shit was bogus.
Yeah, you sound like
you're going to see them in 2028 come snatch Trump.
Yeah, you sound like against your grandma. That absolutely, that ain't gonna happen. I see in the comments. I think it says
you sure?
You think Trump and JD Vance gonna get snatched up? Yeah, I'm sure that's not gonna happen.
Hey, it's possible, right?
No.
Because then it's an oppressive government, isn't it?
Wait, what are you saying?
I'm saying they're not doing that to us, right? They're not coming to snatch any of our presidents up and digging in our business, are they?
No.
Right. So what gives us the right to do that to them?
No, I agree with all of that. I don't support being the world's police. But what I'm saying is by him being the world's police and other presidents in the past being the world's police, we have saved some lives. I don't favor doing it. I don't favor sending young Americans to do that.
Too.
Yeah.
We've lost a shit ton of lives too.
And that's what I said. I don't favor risking American lives to play the world's police. But once you do it, there are people that benefit from it.
I don't think we benefit from this at all. I think we make more of a problem. We continuously make problems. These are the problems. This is why nobody likes America, because we continue to stick our nose in everybody's fucking business. It wasn't our business in Beirut. It wasn't our business in Iraq. It's not our business now in Iran. Bibi told him to tear that contract up, and that big buffoon did it. I don't give a shit what Bibi says. Bibi's a fucking war criminal too. Bibi wants to be the Israeli Putin.
Yeah.
Bibi is dirty.
You really think Biden would have been that much different? And Begoza says, what did he say real quick? A black Trump supporter. How fucking embarrassing. He's suggesting that I'm a Trump supporter. But I'm asking you,
I hope you're not, but because if you blacker, I can't talk to you no more. I don't talk to black.
Do you think Biden what the fuck? Do you think? Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy. Do you think that Biden would have just allowed Iran to continue to exist at this point?
No, I don't. And here's something I just seen Miss Mo better bring up. Stop bringing up Biden, bro. Biden ain't the president right now.
No, but
it don't even matter.
No, but if Trump
is an idiot in office now, it's not Biden. It's just like when they brought Hillary Clinton in front of the committee about that Epstein shit. Bill told them to keep his wife's name out their motherfucking mouth like Will did. Keep their name.
Well, I'm not bringing up Biden where I think it's irrelevant, but in this case, if we think Trump is taking us down a horrible path, I do have to ask the question: had we voted for Biden, would we have taken a different direction? And based on what you're saying, it doesn't. I mean, it sounds like we might have been meddling with Iran, no matter who was in office.
I don't think so, because we wouldn't have been voting for Biden. We would have been voting for Kamala. First of all, second of all, Kamala wouldn't have did this. Kamala wouldn't have went over there in the dead of night and started a damn war. She wouldn't have done that. She would have had checks and balances. She would have talked to the Congress before this ever happened. She would have had somebody in her ear saying, yo, you can't do that. She would have had the backing of the American public before she did something this damn dumb in the dead of night, and then stood on the stage at Mar-a-Lago and talked about it like it was a good thing. Because, again, he wasn't in the White House, the half that's actually still there. He was in Mar-a-Lago, in his compound, where he doesn't have to worry about anything, which he probably won't have for very much longer anyway, because they're seizing his properties left and right, the piece of shit that he is, because he all that damn money.
Well, I definitely agree with you that Kamala Harris, if she was going to do anything militarily, she would have got permission from Congress. I think out of all the other 9 Republicans that tried to primary Trump, from DeSantis to Burgum to Chris Christie and Vivek, I think all of them would have got the permission of Congress first. So that is something that's fairly unique to Trump, the amount of executive orders.
You know what else she would have had? All of her cabinet. People wouldn't be quitting left and right. Lawyers wouldn't be dropping off left and right. She would have had those people to talk in her ear and say, hey, yo, we might not should do this. Hey, yo, we might should just chill back. And if you want to go back further, Bill would have smoked a blunt with him. Biden would have just took some damn Crown Royal or some whiskey and got chilled with him, and none of this shit would be happening. So no, this is truly just a thing where Trump thinks he can control the world like a fucking toddler with his finger on the button. I talked to a woman earlier who said, I had a picture up earlier because I went live early this morning, and I had a picture of ICE people in the back and saying, I hope y'all ready for war. She said, oh, you're not ready for war? No, I'm not ready to send my brothers, sisters, mothers, cousins, and aunties and damn uncles into war about somebody else's oil. Yeah. I'm not ready to do that. Any of you idiots who think that you are, go ahead and sign up.
But
I'm
are
sure
we?
they're waiting for
What
it.
about the notion? And this is coming from JC Montana in the comments. What about the notion that we just rushed into judgment on Trump? JC says Trump knows what the fuck he's doing. Let the man do his thing. Are you?
Does he?
I'm just.
Does he know what he's doing? I don't think he does. I think he's following behind Bibi like the treacherous little traitor that he actually is. That's what I think. I think he's running behind Bibi, acting a fool and crying like he always does. That's what he's doing. He ain't doing nothing else but that.
No, and I see in the comments, Mr. G says Trump ain't shit. Says no new wars, my foot. Well, and he did campaign on there was no new wars, and all this stuff would never have started under his watch. That was happening under Biden or past presidents, but there is a lot of drama happening under his watch. That is absolutely true. I mean, but MAGA does not appear to be feeling let down behind any of this.
Look, I'm finna jump off because I have a phone call. I'm gonna leave you with this though, right?
Go ahead.
Check this out. All of you people who talking about this bullshit, I want to let y'all know if you want to talk about AB and talk about a woman's right to her autonomy, the first thing you should do is sign up for a mandatory vasectomy when your sons are born.
Damn.
Do that. Sign up for a mandatory vasectomy. That way, when your son is born, you ain't got to worry about him trying to stick no other damn little girl. And you ain't got to worry about babies not happening. Sign up for it. Go do it now. Peace out.
King Finn, appreciate it. Tap the screen, get that phone, King. Get us on up to 70,000. That's wild. Sign up for a vasectomy. Wow. MAGA doesn't know what to think until Trump tells them, says retired fireman. Thank you for your service there, sir. I don't know if I would agree that MAGA doesn't know what to think, but I do believe Trump has the ability to alter the way they think. I do believe that if you talk to MAGA and they have an opinion on a subject and Trump goes in the opposite direction, it will change the mind of a lot of MAGA and they will go in that direction too. I do believe that. Because like I said, no new wars, tired of playing the world's police, America first. These were things that Epstein files were going to come out, transparency on that. These are things that everybody on the right believed if Trump became president, we would get to the bottom of the Epstein stuff. We would stop sending money overseas and stop getting involved in wars. And everybody on the right believed that. And now that he's doing the opposite, everybody on the right is like, well, this is what we voted for. Like, how could you have voted for it? He was promising to do the opposite of it. So, like I said, they voted for the man, not necessarily the policies. Policy sounded good, but if he changes his mind, we're changing our mind too. Mr. G says, once Trump goes MAGA better not say shit when we dance. I hope that doesn't happen, Mr. G. I said this before that I don't, the hat says make America great again. And I've asked all of my MAGA viewers when they come up, can we possibly ever reach the pinnacle of greatness while being divided and having leadership that does not seek to unite us? Because no matter how well you think Trump is governing the country, it's hard to argue that he's trying to unite us. He is absolutely running on division. I mean, he promised to be the president of retribution. And most of my beloved MAGA admit, even though they think Trump has a reason to attack liberals, they believe the liberals were, trying to put a bullet in them, trying to impeach him, trying to incarcerate him. But even MAGA agrees that it's going to be very difficult to make America great while being a president of division. So I'm responding to you, Mr. G, when you says once Trump goes, MAGA better not say shit when we dance. I don't favor having another administration, left, right, or independent, follow Trump doing the same thing. The only way we heal or unite or whatever synonym you want to use is we got to get somebody that comes up and says, look, we got to let bygones be bygones. What happened during the last administration, the only way we're going to come together is for nobody to try to take revenge based on that. We'll let the law do what the law's supposed to do. If anybody broke the law, so be it. That'll be the responsibility of justice to take its course. But having folks deliberately trying to fight, hate, and be divisive. We can't, what did they say? A nation divided cannot stand or something. We're not going to be able to continue like this and maintain our position at the top of the food chart globally. We're just not. If we continue down this path, we're going to split in fucking half. We're going to split in half eventually. We can't, and of course, divided, we're going to be significantly weaker. So, yeah, I think after Trump, we got to find a way to get somebody else at the helm that is not as divisive. Trump believes he has a beef, a score to settle, and he's going to be divisive until the day he dies. So the only way you get rid of division is you're going to have to move on away from him, away from that mindset. That's not healthy for the country. We can talk about the economy and lowering gas prices and all this other shit, but us hating us is not going to work. Looking in the comments, she gets paid by Israel too. You think she would have done something different? Really? You say Kamala Harris gets paid by Israel? I think anybody that becomes president, Israel starts offering and throwing money at him. I don't know if Kamala Harris would have done the exact same thing of Trump, but I do feel like to a degree she would have been pro-Israel. Yeah. I mean, all of them are. You don't really have many politicians at the national level that are not pro-Israel because it doesn't work very well for you. Most of them are pro-Israel. Yes, sir, you got that right. Thank you there, Charles. Let me go back to the box. Tap the screen. By the way, if you're watching us on YouTube, I need you folks to smash that like button. Over 1,000 of you guys across the platforms. If you're watching on Substack, follow the program. If you're watching on TikTok or Instagram, give us a follow. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a sub. We're here most weekdays. Follow the program. We are MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome as well. We don't block, ban, or censor. So understand, folks, the comments you hear are uncensored. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. Our comments go left of Mom Donnie all the way to I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. If we can even make it to 2028, damn. You think we're so divided we may not even see another 2.5 years? Jesus, that's frightening. That is really frightening. Let me go back to the box. That's scary. That is really scary if that ends up happening. Miss Mo, what is it? I always like your videos. It's free to do. I see 223 Vikes and 5. Okay, I don't know what you're saying there, but let's try it again. I don't know if that was Jeremy or somebody. Did not happen there. We'll try with the next guest here. Kamala did not like and support Israel. A lot of them talk that way until they get in office. Remember, you got the likes of Nancy Pelosi and other powerful beings in the Democrat Party that would be directing Kamala as well. Who do we get here? Super evil? Is that what that says?
Yeah, man. Super evil, man.
What brings you up? What am I getting wrong?
Well, the thing is, though, Trump voted for no, or I would say we voted for no new war.
Okay, what is that? What is that alien sound in the background?
Huh?
You got some kind of weird sound going off.
Oh, that's my text message.
Okay, well, see if you can, because that's distracting. But okay, you voted for Trump, correct?
I voted, but I didn't vote for this, though.
But you did vote for Trump, right?
Right.
Okay. But so you don't favor attacking Iran?
To a certain extent, we need to do something a little bit more.
You got a lot of text coming in, man. Let's say that again.
I was saying that we need to do a little bit more better than what we are doing now.
Describe better. What do you mean by better?
Let me see. Hold on, real quick.
Corrector, stop spamming, or I'm gonna have to block you. I don't like to block people, but corrector, you are typing graphics in the comment section. I'm trying not to block you, so do not spam, otherwise we'll have to take you down. We don't like to block folks. I don't know if my last guest dropped or what happened. We're moving on though. He is higher than grandma, says Jerry Garcia. Oh my God. All voting is picking between the lesser of two evils. Yeah, Larry, I do agree with that. It is somewhat picking between the lesser of two evils, but for folks on the right, you had like 9 other options. Vivek, Nikki Haley. I mean, you had a lot of folks, and this is what I was saying while that primary was going on, because everybody was like, look, ain't none of these guys better than Trump. I'm going to tell you the things about Trump, his promises, his camp, not what he's doing now, but his actual campaign promises in terms of securing the border and not leaving it wide open like you believe Biden was doing it. The whole LGBTQ running rampant stuff that you folks believe was happening. You're going to get that. You're going to get probably about 75 to 80% of what you wanted out of Trump, out of Nikki Haley. Certainly was going to get it out of Ron DeSantis. Probably would have got at least 90% of it out of Vivek Ramaswamy. So you did have options. It's just, I think it's the boisterous nature of Trump. I think it's the promise of retribution. We're going to make the liberals pay. We're going to get liberal tears, stuff that has nothing to do with your personal life, nothing to do with the economy or making America strong, but it does satisfy the thirst for revenge against the Democrats. I think that is what gave Trump the edge, is that he was going to make the Democrats pay. But unfortunately, in the process of making the Democrats pay, the nation has become really divided. And all the things that would have made your life better, economy and stuff like that, has not really been realized, has not been accomplished. Most of Trump's biggest hits are making liberals pay. But that doesn't make groceries cheaper for you. The celebrity Chase says Kamala would just like the villain, would be just like the villain of Gotham City while doing the same shit. All she does is laugh every time you ask her a difficult question. Look, didn't they say the same thing about Hillary Clinton's laugh? I don't know about the laugh thing. I think that, look, when you're trying to demonize somebody, you're going to find a reason to demonize them. Out of all the things that could go wrong, her laugh, really? But they did, because I remember Saturday Night Live and stuff, they were going at the Hillary Clinton for laughing. So in the comments, Jerry Garcia, you says Hillary never laughed. No, they were making fun of her laugh. They actually were doing that. You can go back to the Saturday Night Live era, and there were videos they were making of. They were doing the same thing with Hillary Clinton, talking about the way she laughed. So you're a woman, they're going to find, they were talking about her pantsuit, with Hillary Clinton, the clothes she wore. This stuff is irrelevant towards running the country. But if you need to demonize somebody, you're going to grab for whatever you can get. Looking at the comments here, how the hell do we know why God needs to do things? Why don't you know? You guys are having a religious conversation. She eats babies and want abortion and sex changes for children. That's a lot of opinion. Look, if you're going to suggest that eating of babies is one thing, you can't, if folks say that Trump is doing things to children and you don't like that, but you can make a claim like that, you don't have any evidence of that. So based on what you're saying, then it's okay to say Trump is doing all kinds of awful shit to kids too there, because you're saying it with no evidence. Real quick in the comments, I'm a Democratic socialist, asks, how do I call in? We're currently live on Substack, TikTok, and Instagram. That's where the callers come from. You can't call in on YouTube, obviously, but if you come, the Handsome Liberal is the same name on all platforms, Instagram, Substack, and TikTok. If you have any of those apps, come on over. We'll make it happen. Let me go back to the box. We'll start out with Miss Mo Betta. Harris would have brought America into the future. Trump put America 50 years back. Do you believe Trump put America 50 years back? 50.
50, 60, take your pick. Take your pick for a man who says that no new WARs, take your pick. And for them to keep saying, it's a conflict, what's the difference between a conflict and a WAR? What's the difference?
It's technical. It's technical. A WAR, you have to go through Congress and officially declare it. A conflict is doing the same shit you would do from a WAR. You just didn't officially declare it. That's all the difference. That's the only difference.
He did not declare it. You know why he didn't declare it? Because he doesn't hold that power to declare it. Yeah. Congress does. Yeah. That's why he didn't. He just did the act, which is worse than declaring it. Yeah. What the fuck is they talking about, Tim?
Yeah, if he ended up going through Congress and making a declaration, nothing different would be happening. We would be doing the same stuff we're doing right now. So yeah, there's no difference.
We know this Congress is weak. They weak as fuck. They don't even check him on the shit that he does and not get their permission. But we already know those are all his cronies. Those are his cronies. We expecting them to say any different. They were like, oh, just go ahead. Do what you're gonna do. You know, who cares if there's lives lost? Oh, that happens.
How do you think he's gotten such power? And I see your comment there, Bama Landscaper says War Powers Act. Whatever the case may be, it's a fucking war. You can come up with any synonym you want. What we're doing to Iran is currently a war.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we can come up with a million synonyms, but it's a war. So, but what about a war for the American people? Is it something that is benefiting us as?
I don't see where the benefit lies. If anything, it puts us more at risk than a benefit. What is it? This is not even. It's not even our war. This is BB's. Why are we doing his bidding? This is no longer the United Snakes of America. This is Israel.
You know, I mentioned this earlier in the live. I was watching this whole outbreak of this in Iran on Fox News's YouTube page. One of their posts, and somebody put in the comments, no matter who we vote for, we still get Netanyahu. I mean, wow.
And that's true. That's you know why? Because they hold so much over their head. A lot of this stuff, and this is why we're struggling with the e-files. Because a lot of that stuff that was happening wasn't happening here. It was happening over in those regions. But see, people are not. They don't read those things. They don't go research nothing. They don't read anything. They don't know who really was involved. It's not just Trump himself. It's not just him. It's people bigger than him.
Well, but
that's why he's going so hard to protect that, because they know they were off his ass.
So you believe President Trump is resisting releasing those files because it could be a threat to his life? You believe the power is that high up that with Secret Service protection for the rest of his life, there's still entities out there that could get to him?
Absolutely.
Then that kind of makes Trump look a little bit less devious than some folks have him painted. I can understand a man that's afraid of dying.
He's a oh gosh, Tim. They say if you don't have anything nice to say, then you don't say nothing.
Well, but wait a minute. It's a difference between. Let me clear it up.
That mofo, he's dangerous to us.
Wait, let me clear it up for folks who may not have understood. What I'm saying is, there's a group of people who believe he's hiding the release of those files because he's on it and it shows he abused kids. What you're saying is he may be hiding the files because if he releases them, somebody may off him. I can understand him acting that way from this.
And they both can be true at the same time, Tim.
Okay.
It's because the involvement of who else was in him, not just him. And that's what I said in the beginning. It's not just him.
Yeah, but even still, I can understand. Look, what I did was awful. I deserve to pay whatever price is necessary in terms of
come out of Trump's mouth.
Yeah, I know I'm making it up, but hear me out. I know it ain't gonna help. This shit will never be said by him. This will never be said by him. But I'm going to give it to you, whereas he would be able to spin it. What I did was awful, and I understand that I'm entitled to whatever the justice system throws my way, but I know if I had released this, there was not going to be any day in court. I may have been found in some sort of seclusion, just like Epstein was found. That's why I didn't release him. I can see that.
In a normal world, that sounds good, Tim. In a normal world, in a normal life, just like Bill Gates did. That's what he did. He admitted to his involvement and apologized. That's what he did, which doesn't excuse him. You're just as nasty as the rest of them that has been.
Gates copped to full grown adults though.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, I heard that part because it came out in his divorce. His wife, it was the actual whistleblower in that situation. She was the whistleblower, so he had no choice. What was he going to do? Say his wife was lying?
Well, I mean, Trump would say Melania was lying in a heartbeat.
Well, see, and that's the thing with that. You know, you bring Bill and Hillary in, who's been long gone from presidency and any kind of office or whatever, but you fail to bring the president and his wife in, and they're in all kind of pictures.
Yeah. Bill and Hillary,
all kind of pictures. They said Trump's name is in there more just as much as Epstein's is.
Yeah, Bill left office last century. I mean, Bush took over in 2000, so you're talking 26 years he's been gone. So that's crazy that they would bring Hillary Clinton up for a deposition. I mean, Melania is in all sorts of pictures with Epstein. Hillary Clinton ain't in shit. How did Hillary Clinton end up going first?
Pizza lover, get your P3 to your ass out of here. Get off my nipples.
Ooh.
God. First thing he come out of his mouth, Miss Mo nothing. Boy, shut up.
He say that all the time. You don't think you know anything. He says that all the time.
Just because he on my nipples. Don't be mad because what you dealing with ain't as sexy as I am. I can't help it.
Ain't nothing wrong with being on the nipples. God bless him.
You can't let everybody put their mouth on you, Tim. I'm sorry.
No, you should turn some people down. I didn't know it. Okay, I'm learning. I read about it in the book.
I teach you some things, Tim. Inbox me. I'll teach you some stuff.
Okay, well, last I heard, Gates and Grandma was pissed off at me for watching CNN instead of BBC. That's a news network.
God. BBC is on lock because they called an emergency meeting, so they got the whole UN. Everybody's there now. BBC is on live now. I was just watching it. This is turned into something really bigger than it should have been.
Well, certainly with Iran striking other nations to get at us. I mean, so this could end up being, this could turn into a war in that region.
That's what made it a war, Tim, because they responded. You understand conflict? All right, I'll give you that. If we would attack the native,
hold on 1 second. This is coming in now. Khomeini, one of the most evil people in history, is dead. This is not only justice for the people of Iran, but for all great Americans. This is coming from the Trump's Post, and those people from many countries throughout the world that have been killed or mutilated by Khomeini and his gang of bloodthirsty thugs. So Trump just released this on Truth Social that they killed the leader of Iran.
Here's the problem and the key sentence to that. He may be gone, but he mentioned his thugs. They're not gone.
Yeah. But we're going to probably put a pro-Western government in that country.
I'd like to see it happen.
Same way this one happened, just like with Maduro.
I wonder how much is going to be at stake, how much is going to be lost before any of that happens.
Well, we would have said the same thing with Venezuela. I mean, we took out Maduro; his thugs were still in power.
Venezuela and Iran; those are two different. Spaces.
I get it.
They don't match energy. I'm sorry.
I mean, I get that Iran is a significantly more powerful nation, but the fact that we can take people out from the air pretty easy. I don't know if you think his thugs will step up and just keep. I mean, because that's what happened in Gaza. They kept putting up more people. Israel ended up slaughtering just about the entire whole of Hamas.
This is not going to go well, Tim. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Their leader might be gone, but like I said, just he's gone. The people that worked under him or aside him and all that stuff, they still in existence, and we cannot sleep on these sleeper cells. Let's not sleep on these people. And listen, and if it was all such that, why are we not letting Israel handle their own business? What are we doing?
Well, I'll tell you this: if it was just America under Trump doing this, I might be more willing to agree with you, but with Netanyahu at the helm, Mossad is really good at taking out heads of state. So you say we got rid of Khomeini and they're going to put his other thugs in there. I think the Mossad is probably floating all around Iran. You keep putting people up, they'll just keep giving them to us to knock down like bowling pins. I mean, they don't play. The Israelis don't do what we do.
Well, again, why are we there? That was my question. I didn't ask what the ability was.
Scratch, resources.
Why are we there?
Control, power.
We're gonna lose our people trying to get it. We've heard these stories before, Tim. Yeah. This is nothing new. It just might be with a different name, but the story is still the same.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. But that's the reason why we're at the top of the food chain. Is we've done this to Iraq. We go in Vietnam. I mean, this is what we do. We go into another country. We control their government, control how they operate, take resources if necessary. I want
you to ask Venezuela how well are they doing since Maduro is gone.
We don't give a shit, to be honest.
Exactly. So what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, and I said that.
A bunch of fuel that we can't even use.
That's a good point you raised, because I said the same thing when we were talking about potentially going into Iran because there's protesters that they're killing. I'm like, we don't give a shit about those people. It's like we don't give a shit about the Venezuelan people. We are literally deporting Venezuelans right back into that mess. So we don't care nothing about them people.
You got people here protesting our own government.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here?
We're doing it for something that benefits America, but we'll use that as an excuse that we're helping them.
Everything is used as an excuse for something, like the border peace. What was that all about? The $10 billion that's being donated to them for what? And yet y'all striking countries. Make all of this stuff make sense. It doesn't. Yeah.
And they said I told the Khomeini was 86. Damn. They don't have term limits over there. 86.
He was an old man. And see, this is what I'm saying. What they were threatened by his mental abilities or something, because at 86 years old, like what were they threatened by with him?
Well,
he's smart.
Wait a minute. You say at 86, what were they threatened by? Sound like, am I hearing Trump 2028? So you're okay with an old man being in there? He's not a threat? Trump 2028?
No, hell no.
That's what I'm hearing.
No, but hell no.
I mean, that's what I'm hearing. If he's not a threat at an old age, then it's okay for Trump to get a third term.
Because people keep saying, oh, these haters and all kinds of stuff. I want you to go back and ask the victim family from 9/11, were they haters? Or were we hating then? Let's stop acting like we can't be touched with something. And they know what we like the most, which is money. It's all about money with us. And a little power. They like the power too. So what they do is they take their time. They have a lot more patience than we do. We want things to happen yesterday. And that's when the attacks come in.
Now, I got folks in the comments. While you're talking, I got folks in the comments suggesting that the price of gas is going to go up. I mean, look, Iran is a major player in the fuel industry globally. Absolutely. But what do you think? You think this will cause a negative effect for our price of fuel, or maybe Trump will get it under control and bring things down?
No, it won't get under control. You see, man, he's mad because he well, like that video he has circulating, because talk about they couldn't make no deals. They don't know how to make deals. That's why they had to attack and all kinds of stuff from 2011 and all kinds of stuff like that. He's not a negotiator. That's why he bullies his way around with tariffs and different things like that. Of course, it's going to go up. That's what's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Well, I mean, I guess I don't know. Trump wouldn't have done this if he didn't get something out of it, right?
I still want to see what the something is. No, yeah, he did get something out of it. Now he feels like he is. I'm not afraid of you. I'll go in there and just do that. He feels empowered. It makes him feel empowered. And if you go back and watch your videos from us, maybe last year, I said to you what he wanted. This is what he wanted, is to start a WAR. He's like, no, he's going in there, he's stopping. No, that was your response.
I'm going to plead no contest. I don't quite remember. I'm not for sure, but shit. What if for some reason, some way, shape, or form, gas prices do drop? Let's say they drop 50 cents a gallon or more. Would you give them credit?
I'm still laughing at your ass because you trying to find any kind of way you sound like MAGA like a motherfucker.
No, I mean, look.
Give him credit. No, I'm not giving him credit because there's somebody probably lost their life for that the 5 cents drop. No, and it don't even be going down that much. When it go down, it go 3 cents. 4 cents. I can show you the numbers here. It's $2.87 a gallon.
I get all that, but you're telling me even if gas prices came down due to this, you wouldn't give him any credit for that.
No, because gas is not my issue. Gas is not my issue. Whether it's up or down, I still got to get gas. Groceries and shit like that, where my receipt is as long as my arm for a half a bag of groceries. That's where my issues and stuff. The taxes, when I went to go to file my taxes, paying more is my issue. My issue is
okay.
It's a lot of other issues. Gas it was not big on my list.
But you do realize that if the price of fuel goes down and everything is shipped via truck and train, oftentimes if shipping costs go down, the price of what's on that truck or train goes down too, which could be your food, products you buy.
But you know what? It will not happen. You know why? Prices of stuff are not going down. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Prices will not drop. You know why?
No, I don't know why. Why you say that?
Number one, because they know people are going to find a way to sustain where they are, where the prices are. They're not going to go for that loss. Number two, with them deporting a lot of the illegals, alleged illegals that were actually spending their money in these stores and stuff, how are they got to recoup their money? Those prices are not going down.
I don't know. I mean,
yeah, okay,
I'm not saying what you're saying is not true. I'm saying that you can't be absolutely certain they're not going down.
Well, at this point, it would be just an assumption. We can assume or hope that they would go down, but that's not the truth. And then when he got up at the State of the Union the other night talking about energy prices, he don't pay no energy bill. He don't see a bill to see these people getting their energy bill and their electricity is up by $150. Their water bill is up by $100. Their gas bills and all of that stuff, their fuel oil for their homes, all of that stuff is up, Tim. Yeah. He was straight up lying, and I don't know how they could buy into that bullshit.
So what's next? Now that they have the head of the country has been killed, I mean, we don't just leave it at that.
I don't know how. I don't know what's to come of it now. You understand what I'm saying? What they're just going to think because that 86-year-old man is going out like, all right, now we can run in there and take over. But their forces, their physical forces are still present. Why do you think they're attempting to retaliate?
Yeah, but their physical forces are present, but perhaps with him gone, the loyalty to the Iranian government from those forces may not be there. I mean, they had to fight on his behalf because otherwise they would get slaughtered. But now that he's not around anymore.
But trust me, not all those people over there hated that man.
No, that's true. That is true.
Not everybody hated that man. So just like we got a third of the people that like the orange glow here.
You're disrespecting the office. Come on now.
I just caught this. He needs to change his makeup artist then. Shit, then we can stop talking about it. He got a fucked up makeup artist.
And I'm going to ask you because you were in the comments.
Makeup artist he got.
I'm going to ask you because apparently you were in the comments suggesting I've stopped bringing up Biden, but I have to ask. Do you think that they would have done a better job with this?
Again, we would have to assume, but I think they would. You know why? Because they do follow chains of command. They do go to their top military people and get intel. You know what I'm saying? They report to the correct people to know what to go in there and do, so it'll be done correctly. Not just because you feel you're big enough to do it.
I don't know. I tend to think that if you had...
Well, again, it's all opinion. It's all opinion speculation.
My opinion is if you had Kamala or Biden in there, this guy wouldn't be dead. I don't believe that at all. I don't think they would have done this. I think that we would have went to Congress and they would have tried to get a declaration of war before they did anything. And I don't think...
Well, and I don't believe they still would have been really doing the BB, even with the support of Israel. I don't think they would have been doing BB's bidding either.
They were doing BB. They were doing BB's bidding under Biden. That's why they were saying genocide Joe has got to go.
They were supporting them financially because that is in. They have the bill that has to support Israel till 2028. That's written, and that started back from Trump's first term. Come on, no, we're not gonna do that.
I don't know. I guess
that's in the books. I'm not making that shit up.
No. I'm saying that it was clear that folks on the left, the progressives, were yelling genocide Joe has got to go and said he was helping out Israel too much.
Listen, again, he had no choice. He had no choice. It's a clause that we have to help them until the year 2028. That started back.
You don't have to help them out no matter what they do.
No, I get that part. That's why, what's his name, BB, they want his head on a platter. Everybody do.
Yeah, and Biden was not one of those. I got to move it on, though, Miss Mobetta. This is what we have, and I see, Trump, they're still saying Trump is confirming that the guy is dead, so.
Well, see, that, and he don't care anything. You just want to, he wants that, like, we got the big man. He doesn't care what happens after that. That's his whole thing. He wants to feel like I am the big, if you go back.
He wants to feel like he's a winner. He won.
But if you go back and see what happened with Obama and Bin Laden, and how the strike and stuff Obama and stuff did, it was in the middle of the night, and nobody. You understand what I'm saying?
They talk different. Yeah, they talk different.
He's trying to mimic everything he do. He's still begging for that goddamn Nobel Peace Prize.
That's a no go at this point. That's a no go.
That's exactly what he's doing.
He has no chance at that. Mr. Mobetta, thank you. Appreciate it. And yeah, he has zero chance. Look, they weren't. I don't think the Nobel Peace Prize committee thought he was authentic in the beginning. I mean, because he was really. I guess you're supposed to. The way out, my opinion on this is, you're supposed to be a do-gooder. I suppose, somebody who is for peace and things like that, and your efforts get recognized by the committee. Trump was trying to reach out and say, I want this prize and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it. That's not how it's awarded. I mean, he was trying to go around saying he ended all kinds of war. He was trying to basically, I don't know, I won't say forced him to give it to him, but he made it clear, I want this prize. I don't think that's how it normally goes. And of course, now, since he didn't get the prize, and then he took to social media and even stated, since you didn't give me the prize, I guess I don't have to be peaceful anymore, which really just made it clear you never were the genuine article to begin with. But he did post on social media something like that. Well, since I didn't get the prize, I no longer have to be peaceful. Well, then you weren't genuinely peaceful to begin with. Can you imagine somebody like Mother Teresa or somebody saying, well, since you didn't give me an award, I don't have to be a nice old nun or something. I can just do whatever the hell I want. That's what you wanted to do anyway. So no, the chance of Trump getting the Nobel Peace Prize is zero. Evil Bibu, I see you. I had brought you up. I don't know what happened. Let me go back to the box real quick. Tap the screen. Get us on up to 90,000. We'll take the next caller at that. Tim, special news report. Yeah, I seen that. I do see that, Evil Bibu. I just did not happen to see it until after you posted that in there. But yeah, they're saying that this man is deceased. And the Trump administration is saying they confirmed it. Netanyahu, Israel, was the ones who first stated that all of the signs were pointing to this guy possibly being dead. And I guess they've been able to probably get photos or something or confirmation from somebody on the ground that he has passed. I'm telling you from a standpoint of anything we're involved in that also has Israel in it is probably going to result in a loss of life for whoever the leader is of that country. We don't normally kill heads of state. America does not normally do that. Israel always seems to do that. So if we're involved with Israel and we let them have their way, they're going to kill the head of state. Because I believe in 1974, if I'm correct, I believe in the actual year 1974, under the Ford administration, we signed into some kind of pact that we will no longer kill heads of state. So we don't normally do that. We didn't kill Saddam Hussein, Gaddafi. We hand them over to somebody, they may kill them. So look, I can't kill you, so I'm gonna have my friend do it. Here, kill him. I mean, something like that, because we handed over Gaddafi, we handed over Saddam Hussein. We hand you over to somebody else that's gonna do the job anyway, but we don't do it. Israel does it. Israel would do it themselves. And I see in the comments, Bama Landscaper says Cuba is next. Man, I don't have a lot of pushback for that. I don't have a lot of pushback for that. I absolutely can see under Trump, with 2.5 more years left, with the way Trump thinks, his mindset, and not having much of a government in place that really speaks out against him, I could see Trump doing that. I absolutely could see Trump taking out the heads of state in Cuba. I absolutely could see that. So we'll see. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I mean, this is the historical precedent behind this stuff is a mess. Because as I've said before on the program many times, is that Trump is going to live to be a wealthy old man. He's not going to do a day behind bars or anything. He's going to die a wealthy old man, period. But all of the enemies he's creating are enemies for you and I to deal with. They can't get to Trump. Trump is surrounded by security 24/7. That'll be that way until the day he dies. It's you and I. October, 7th or 6th in Israel, stuff like that. That's how you respond to a president that has done you or your nation wrong. It's us, soft targets. People like us can be touched. Like, for instance, I've had several viewers point out that Iran claims to have sleeper cells in America. They're not going to Mar-a-Lago. They're not going to the White House. They're going to the fucking mall. They're going to the beach. They're going to the local church. That's where they get their get back. It's you and me. So if he makes enemies, you and I are the ones that pay the price. Now, he may acquire wealth from what he's doing, whether it's resources like the Venezuelan oil tankers we're readily seizing. He may be getting tons of money from behind it. But when it's time for them to come for revenge, it's going to be against you and me. It's not going to be against him. You can't get to him. So understand that. Understand that when you're celebrating what he is doing, if there is a response, it comes in your direction. It does not, it's not going to, he don't have to worry about that. Real quick, habanero, whatever the case may be. I don't like to block folks, but you are spamming. And I'm going to ask you to stop. I won't block you if you stop habanero or whatever it's called. But yeah, the spamming is something I have to. You leave me no other choice but to block when you do that. Looking in the comments, Black Israelite, haha, is hilarious and so ironic. They don't look at the elephant in the room when it comes to. Don't know what you're talking about. If Obama did the same thing, guaranteed the caller will try to say it's brilliant. Do not know that. I don't know for sure. I mean, look. The liberals were certainly saying that Biden was wrong, so I'm not for sure about that. Maybe not. Let me go back to the box. By the way, tap the screen, get the lights on up, if you will. His family won't have security for life. With the amount of money they're getting, yeah, they will. The Trumps will have security for a long fucking time. Even Barron, the youngest son, is only like 20-some years old, is worth millions of dollars. They'll have security for Don Jr. and Eric and all of them. Yeah, they'll have security forever. I mean, by the time Trump is done, I bet you Don Jr. and Eric will be close to being billionaires, if not actual billionaires. Not to mention they're going to inherit all of the shit Trump leaves behind. So, well, not all of it because Melania's in there, but I'm sure he's made it so they're going to make a fortune. So, yeah, they're going to have security for the rest of their lives. I mean, we already know Ivanka and Jared were involved in a $2 billion deal with the Saudis. So they got tons of money. They'll be fine. I don't think they're ever going to get to a point where they don't have a ton of security floating around them. They are super rich. Like they're in the 1% of the 1%. They're way the fuck up there. And they got 2.5 more years to make more money. Crypto and all of this stuff. He is making money off the office. Damn all of that. He don't take a salary shit. He is getting paid royally as president. My guess is by the time it's all said and done, Trump probably will have made more money as president than probably all 40 some of them before him combined. I mean, because he's in the billions making money. I mean, Obama's in all, Obama, how much, Obama, when they first became president, they were paying student loans still. They didn't come in as wealthy, as a wealthy couple, Obama and Michelle. They left out as millionaires, but I don't think the Obamas left out of the White House anywhere near being a billionaire. I think President Trump has made $1 billion this year or in 2025. So yeah, it's significantly different. Looking in the box, here's something that makes me always laugh. Because anybody who watches the program, I get guests that say all kinds of wild shit, insult me. I'm about free speech. I don't mind that. But 90salt.com says, put me in the box, or are you afraid to be taken down, taken to the street by a Democrat? We're about free speech. I think the program is ran long enough for you to know, if you watch it, that we're not afraid of guests. I suppose maybe you think that gets you in quicker or something. We let people speak. It's a free speech program, so there's no such thing as not bringing somebody up because you're quote unquote afraid of them. That doesn't happen. Handsome conservative, good evening. Welcome to the program.
I've been waiting for this. I have been waiting for this. Oh boy.
Is today a good day in your opinion? We've attacked Iran. We've taken out the leader.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood, Tim. It's a beautiful day. Listen, before we get started, I would like to say something that no Democrat has said today, no Republican has said today, no MAGA has said today. I've been watching this since early this morning with my brother. He came over early and we watched this all morning. Nobody has mentioned that school building.
51 dead. 51 dead.
Full of young girls that had their lives taken. And I'm sorry, I know I stand to protect Israel, but I don't stand for slaughtering a school full of children, no matter what country they're in. And I think we can all agree that's fucked up.
Yeah.
That's just fucked up.
What about the notion, the same thing the Israelis were saying when they were bombing Gaza, is that maybe the bad guy tried to embed himself in the school or firing from on the roof? I don't know. I mean, this is what they were saying.
No, Tim, I watched it. A missile hit the school building. There were only children. I watched mothers and fathers outside of that school building crying their eyes out with little notebooks and little papers all over the ground. They were digging out bodies. We're talking young little ladies that had their lives taken because they were in school and it got hit by a rocket or a missile or whatever you want to call it. Nobody supports that. And I just wanted to speak on that because, damn it, that's fucked up. There's no reason for that.
I mean, but no, I don't want to downplay at all the atrocity of that. And I actually wrote that on the notes. I don't know why I didn't mention it, but that is, 51 dead. But what about the notion that during any conflict, during any war, there are going to be innocent people that lose their lives? I mean, that happens in any conflict. I don't want to downplay it. I get how horrible it is.
And I agree with you, Tim. I agree with you. In fact, I got a couple of things to bring up to you. But first, I agree with you. But we're not talking, as sad as it is, a grown man or a grown woman being accidentally killed, which is wrong. It's horrible. We're talking about babies. Somebody's babies. Okay, That's what we're talking about, and that's a whole different kind of evil. I'm sorry, you know how I feel about.
Wait a minute. Do you look? Let me make sure I get this clear, because we all agree that killing 51 innocent kids is wrong. But do you believe they actually deliberately targeted this institution?
I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it. There was no bomber in that school. There was no missiles being fired from that school. There was no rockets being launched from that school. This was that. You want to talk about a hate crime? That right there, that's a hate crime.
Well, then we have to figure out, there's two things. First of all, we got to figure out if that was fired by the Israelis or fired by the Americans. That's the first thing.
Oh, no. Okay. It was fired by the Israelis. Let me tell you this. I watched it from this morning. First of all, America is guilty. I will admit that much of being in this war.
Mm-hmm.
But Israel this morning, without America, started the bombing. They launched their planes. They started firing missiles. I saw it. Then America, on the aircraft carriers and shit like that we have over there, jumped in to support them. But understand, Israel started this war, and that's not a justification. I'm just letting you know. I watched it live. I know it's a fact. I've been to BBC World News. I've been to Al Jazeera News. I've been to all kinds of news stations. I've watched the shit live. So I did my research. That's what Dems like to say. Do your research.
Well, you're talking Dems. You're talking Dems. I got somebody in the comments. I think they don't see you as a conservative. Your lady Wicked says Hamas used kids as shields all the time, but you were fine with that.
No. See, that's the stupidity I'm talking about.
That's coming from the right.
I'm not a conservative because I care about children. That's bullshit. Family values. That's what a conservative is. Family values. And you can't have a family without babies, without boys and little girls and children. That's a family. And second of all, I don't care what side you're on. I don't care if you're Israel or what country you're from. When you kill children, I'm against it. So don't tell me, don't bring that ignorance up to me, because I will shoot you down every time. Anybody who knows me, you know me. You know how I feel about children.
Yeah, you're consistent. You're consistent.
No, I won't put up with that shit. And I am a conservative.
Let me ask you this way. If taking out what happened to the schoolgirls, the 51 dead or whatever, outside of that, let's say that one event did not happen, would you have been happy with taking out Iran and its leadership?
No. Listen, I have said this time and time again. I support protecting Israel. Now, when I say I support protecting Israel, I mean defending their borders. I do not support attacking other countries. I support giving them rockets to stay off rockets that are being fired into their country. I support keeping their borders secure, just like I want our borders secure. But I do not support attacking another country with airplanes and missiles. These guys had a plan. They had just got done agreeing that they would not do any nuclear facilities. They agreed to that. And then Israel attacked them. So if you want to get your facts straight. And I don't mean you, Tim. I mean the people in the comments. Know what you're talking about before you tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, and I've said this with many of the callers throughout this live, is that once we sent that many assets in that region, it didn't matter what Iran said at the negotiating table. Their fate was sealed. That was just a stall game until we get the rest of the shit over there. We were going to hit them from day one.
And I agree. Trump backed himself into a corner. He sent it over there, so he would have lost voters if he had brought them back without doing anything.
Wait a minute. So you say MAGA wanted this, is what you're saying?
I'm saying there are some people that voted for Trump, not all people that wanted this. Now, when Israel launched the war, that gave Trump the excuse to get into it and to support our allies. That was the excuse that was needed. I'm not stupid. I'm not blind. I watched it live.
Well, you're not stupid or blind, but your now your name is a handsome conservative, but in the comments, Captain Ron says that caller is a liberal.
I'm not a liberal. I just have an open mind. If I think something and somebody shows me I'm wrong or proves to me I'm wrong, I'm man enough to admit it. That doesn't mean I'm not a conservative. Again, conservative family values. This is what a conservative is. Get you a dictionary. That's a book with paper in it, and you just flip on through there, and they got these words, and you read them. And maybe you know what you're talking about after that.
Well, your party under Trump is not as it's one in a different. MAGA and conservatives are different. And by the way, folks, help your boy out with the TikTok cap go ahead mustache. I haven't said that much in the show, and I can tell, but support the program. Help your boy out. Thank you, Alter Ego. But yeah, your party is not very conservative anymore, handsome. I mean, your party is a MAGA party.
I do not believe in vote red no matter who. I do not believe in vote blue no matter who. I believe in thinking for yourself and picking a side. But I do want to say two things. Has anybody asked where that Russian destroyer and that Chinese destroyer was at? No?
Where the Russian destroyer and Chinese, what are you talking about? Because, yeah, they did claim that Russia and China were providing intel. Thank you, Big Dog.
Before this thing was launched, just a day ago, there was a Russian and Chinese warship parked saying, if you attack, we're going to get into it with them. We're going to support them. But once the war started, nobody has seen these destroyers or these boats. Nobody's talking about it. And I find that interesting.
Yeah, they claim we got like 10% of the U.S. Navy in that area. That one or two boats ain't gonna do shit. I mean, Trump sent a whole lot of shit over there. So I mean, that's why I said you're not gonna send that many assets unless you're about to attack.
Right. I understand. And I don't want to keep you, man, but I just wanted to come up and I wanted to say, and they can insult me as much as they want. But I wanted to say we should come together and we should think about the children. I don't care what aisle you're on. I don't care who you voted for. If you don't care about those kids, well, no matter what country they're from, the problem is you.
Have you seen all of the kids crying and shit from ICE? They don't give a damn about those kids. I mean, you got plenty of kids on TV here in America. And Anthony, thank you for that underwater coral and James Harper. But no, they don't give a damn about those kids. They're going to say this is what we voted for.
I know. And like I told you before, you and I agree on a lot of things. And I think that you're with me on this. No matter what country they're from, dude. No matter what war is going on. It's the children. When the children pay the price, it's gone too far. That's too much. Yeah. And, you can call me not a conservative. You can call me late for dinner. You can don't call me straight talk. And we'll be good.
Oh, my God. That's straight. You be kind to straight talk. Straight talk was mad. Right. Straight talk was not happy.
Oh, man, I hope I had something to do with that. Listen, you can kick me down, man. I just wanted to say about the kids, and thanks for bringing me up.
Appreciate it. And you make a good point. You do make a good point. And also, thanks for reminding me, because I actually wrote that in the notes that they struck a school in 51. That's a lot of folks. Can you imagine, we all went to school, elementary, high school, middle school. Can you imagine if 51 of the people in your school died? 51 of the students, 51 of your co-students passed. I mean, everybody in school knows at least one or two people that died. That's a lot. I don't know how big the school was, but even in a big school, you kill 51 people at the same time. A lot, and not to mention, you can assume that there's plenty of living people that are missing limbs and shit too, burned up, and I mean, so yeah, that's really bad. I mean, we all remember stuff from our days in school. That's something they got to carry around with them for the rest of their lives, that they were in school and something like that happened. So I think this goes back to what Miss Mobetta was saying. One of my other callers was saying about, just because you took out Khomeini, that don't mean their thugs are not still around. Now, I'm not going to go down the road of thugs, but I do have to ask, how many of those children, the survivors, not the 51 that died, but the survivors, their friends, their family members, their classmates, how many of them you think are going to grow up hating America? They had to go to school and watch their classmates blown to bits. Some of them are going to carry permanent injuries in wheelchairs for the rest of their life. How many of them children you think are going to grow up to become, totally hateful towards America? Because I'll tell you my own grandfather, may he rest in peace, passed away in 99. We used to talk to him a lot about, he was drafted into World War II. He died in 99 still hating the Japanese, still hating them. Now we had we had improved our relationship, America and the Japanese, long before 1999. But when people are trying to kill you, that's something you carry with you for the rest of your life. He died still hating the Japanese. He used to say all kinds of horrible shit about it. They were trying to kill him. He was fighting with them. I'm sure there are plenty of people that served in the Iraq War that hate them. People served in the Vietnam War that hate them. I mean, that's what you can understand where that would come from. You can understand where something like that would come from. So I would assume that a lot of those folks in Iran that have dealt with that today are probably going to hate the West and Israel for the rest of their lives behind that, especially the ones that died innocently, that had no business being caught up in it. So the idea that they're going to see us as liberators, like Dick Cheney once said, not going to happen. I think Miss Mobetta hit that one on the head in saying that his people are still going to be there. Even though you took out Khomeini, that country's still going to hate us. Monicola, appreciate the TikTok cap. So moving on with the program, though, we'll move over to, real quick, I got a caller on Instagram. Casey, good evening. Welcome to the program. I think, Casey, you came over from YouTube. Let me know if it brings them up. America is the land of the indigenous people of North America. That's a mouthful. America is the land of the indigenous people. That actually sounds similar to what Bad Bunny said at the end of the Super Bowl when he started naming all the countries, that makes America one. I mean, it depends how the country turns out to become. Don't know. I tried to bring up a guest from Instagram. I guess that didn't work, so we'll go ahead and move on and tap the screen. Get us on up to 110,000. By the way, folks, this is uncensored programming. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We've been running that way from day one. We always have been, always will be MAGA friendly. Liberals are welcome on the program as well. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. But if you do enjoy uncensored programming, where it does not matter what your politics are, there's no host trying to censor you, there's no moderators overlooking you. We don't have moderators. If you enjoy uncensored programming, we're here most weekdays. I'm going to ask that you follow us if you happen to be watching on TikTok, Substack, or Instagram right now. And if you're watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub. And by the way, for my YouTube viewers, I need you to smash that like button. It's enough for you folks in here. Show the program some love. It doesn't cost you any damn thing. Smash that like button. Rodney says this guy sounds great. Really? Wow. Appreciate that. Thanks for the support. Good to have you here. Hands off Cuba, says Strong Flower. I don't know if you're going to get that wish. Cuba is in a very dilapidated state right now. They don't even have power. They don't even have enough fuel for just to maintain life there. 2-3 hours a day is what I'm hearing. The average citizen has power. So, things like needing to refrigerate meat and stuff like that. Cuba's a very tropical climate, so air conditioning, I guess, is a no-go now. I mean, it's got to be terrible in Cuba right now. It's got to be horrible over there. So, yeah, if Trump wanted to take out the leadership in Cuba, it probably wouldn't be a hard thing to do. They're already in a severely weakened state as we speak. I mean, so you say hands off Cuba, I'm not sure you're going to get your wish there, because it does seem like Trump is on some kind of hardcore mission of aggression. Remember, he came into power. Now we're talking about Iran. Iran wasn't part of the original deal. He came into power talking about Greenland, Panama. What else is he talking about taking over? He talking about Canada being the 51st state, taking over Greenland. There were some other countries in there too. I believe there was some more stuff, but he came into power making it clear he was going to acquire shit, take over stuff. So it is what it is. This is the peace president. He wanted to have a Nobel Peace Prize, but no, he's not the peace president, apparently. Joseph Palo, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that right. Joseph Antonio, thank you for the support. Let me go back to the box. Trump is in the Epstein files. Wait till 2028. If the Democrats win, you will see all the files. I'm not sure of that. Some folks are going to say, why didn't you see him already? I'll just say this real quick before we move on in regards to the files. How the hell do you type 3 million pages worth of data about literally hundreds of young girls being abused by grown-ass men without arresting any of them? How does the FBI comprise that much data about that many incriminating acts with that many adolescent victims, and nobody is arrested in the process? We can talk about what's going on now. I don't see how they created the fucking list without nobody being arrested. That doesn't make any sense. You got 3 million pages of this shit, and nobody got arrested at all on this. I don't want to hear about they were under seal under Biden or Trump administration didn't know. How the hell did you get 3 million pages of all these crimes without nobody getting arrested? That makes absolutely no sense. 3 million pages. And all of that shit's in there. Not only people being abused and trafficked and held against their will, they're talking about stuff that goes all the way up to folks actually being consumed. How the hell did you get all this data with nobody being arrested yet? That don't make any sense at all to me. White crime equals no time. Yeah, that's horrible. Looking in the comments, we'll move on. And James Harper, Trump president. What do you say? Trump for king of what? You want to be the king of the country? James, good evening.
What's going on, Sam?
Oh my God, in the trenches, man. So we don't kill the leadership in Iran. What say you?
If that happened, I doubt it was us. If that strike happened, it was probably Israel that did it.
Yeah, but American intel, shit, the missile probably said made in the USA, the jet it was fired from, and probably got, American, I mean, all of this shit has our name all over it.
I mean, it's really intel like usual. Remember, the first time we did the strike, that was off of Israeli intel. And then who did the strike first? Us or Israel?
I mean, I get Israel, but to me, it's like, your son or daughter's getting bullied in school, and your son shows up to confront the bully with him. So yeah, he gonna take the first swing because we easily can handle this dude together. I know if anything go wrong, daddy got my back.
But what happened? What happened the first time they did the strike? What happened to Israel?
What are you talking about?
The first time they did a strike, Iran struck back. And the Iron Dome did not stop everything. Like they still
the casualties. But when the first time they were actually dealing with Hamas and Hezbollah.
No. I'm talking about.
Oh, Iran, you mean during the obliteration
last year?
The obliteration.
Obliteration. when they struck, and then Iran struck back, and Iran showed them like, hey, we can do this too.
Yeah, I mean, so what are you saying? America had nothing to do with this, and it's just Iran. I mean, just Israel.
I'm saying Trump is doing like he did with ISIS. We didn't take out ISIS. Like a lot of the heavy lifting came from Russia, and what he doing, taking credit like he usually do. Oh, something good happened. Yeah, I had something to do with it.
I don't know. To me, you making America come across like a getaway driver doing a bank robbery. When they started handing out charges, just because you sat in the car and waited till they came back outside the bank, you get charged with the same thing. I mean,
what it is basically you remember what was it? Harlem Nights. That scene with Arsenio Hall, where all of them were shooting all that stuff up, and you had the one guy that
with the pop gun,
the little shit.
With the pop gun, yeah.
That's how Trump is.
No, Trump got the big shit. I mean, if it was just Israel versus Iran, and America didn't have all of those assets in the region, I don't know if it goes down the same way, James. I don't know about that.
If it was just Israel and Iran, it's a reason why they don't do stuff unless they know for a fact that we actually gonna be there to have their back.
Right. That's why I use the bully and daddy behind the bully argument, because go ahead.
Simba, first off, I'm an Iraq vet. I know what I'm talking about. Your ass sat at the house when all this shit went down, but you were sitting there cheering all this shit on. Shut the fuck up.
You're talking about somebody in the comments. Okay? just so folks that are watching on the other apps, you know you're not talking to me. You're talking to somebody in the comments. But what about the notion that, and Jeremy, appreciate that, Jeremy. What about the notion that at the end of the day, whether it's Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel or it's Trump in America, that this is something that is good for harmony on the planet? Do you believe taking out the leadership in Iran will somewhat quiet the region?
No, in fact, it's gonna make shit worse, because now all of a sudden we have all these regions that's been hit.
Yeah. Well, but all of the regions that have been hit are already friendly to the United States. So without the leadership of Iran there, it's not like they're looking for revenge anymore. We've killed the leadership in Iran.
Hey, let him up.
Let who up?
Jeremy, he wants to talk. Bring his.
Oh, that's what. I forgot. Yeah, right. Okay, all right. I forgot about the deal. Hang on a second. I didn't see it. I'll let you guys. I'll give you guys 10 minutes. You know how we do it. So apparently he's countering you. So Jeremy, good evening. What is he getting wrong?
This idea that taking away the leadership in Iran is inherently a bad thing, and that it's going to be just like Iraq. This is what people who don't understand what they're talking about don't say all the time.
Jeremy, I have first-hand knowledge. I was there.
I don't care if you're a vet. I don't care that you're a vet. I don't care. That doesn't mean you're intelligent enough.
Out there. That means all your news.
I don't care. That doesn't
matter. Let me hear him, James. Let me hear him. Okay, so you believe taking out Khomeini is a good thing, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, and I don't know if you've been watching the news, but apparently he's dead.
Yeah, we played it. I even got the picture. I had his picture on here somewhere. But yeah, we know he's dead. There you go. But let me ask you this: now that he's gone, you don't fear a power void? You know, listen, I'm from Chicago. The gang, you take out a major gang leader. Now all the lieutenants want to be that dude, and they're all killing all over the city because they want to be the guy that was in power that kept everybody in line. That's not a good outcome. Same thing happened when Saddam Hussein got taken out. What happens now that he's gone?
Here's why I disagree with that. Here's why. If you look at places like we've taken out leaders of other nations before, and they've been perfectly fine. And then we've taken out leaders of other nations, and they haven't been. What is the difference between the ones that have and ones that haven't? And okay, when Adolf Hitler was taken out, why is it that there wasn't civil war within Germany?
Because we occupied the nation and denazified the motherfuckers. I mean, you want to occupy Iran?
It wasn't just that.
There was an occupying force. So you said we need to put boots on the ground now and do another occupying
Iraq.
We occupied all of the nations.
And what happened? Nothing.
When we left, it completely destabilized. It's okay. When the second
it was destabilized while we were there too.
But hold on. Let me finish. But when we left Germany, it didn't. The reason why is because the Germans were unified in their beliefs and in their ideas and in their factions. There weren't warring factions. In Iraq, it wasn't like that. There was a Shiites and the Sunnis. No. Let me finish.
After World War II, Germany split in two. Remember that big ass wall that they didn't kick down to the 90s?
I don't care. Let me finish. There was the Shiites and the Sunnis and the Kurds who were all fighting each other at the same time. Saddam was the only reason why they were suppressed. Iran is not the same thing. And most of the people are of one specific sect of Islam, okay? And they all are very, very proud of the Shah. They want the Shah back. And Iran was functional and very, very prosperous under the Shah. Why wouldn't just bring the Shah back and stabilize it? Go ahead.
Okay, real quick before you respond there, James, in the comments, I see somebody said, I voted for, the Falcon says, I voted for Trump to stop this shit, not escalate. You don't see any escalation possible happening there, Jeremy? You don't see this potentially leading to more conflict?
Not locally, not within the borders of Iran. Now, do I think that Trump had good reason for this? Fuck no. He's absolutely doing what Netanyahu wants, and he's also doing it for oil. I'm not going to pretend his motives are good, but the outcome is going to be the same. It's just going to be like when we occupied Germany for a while. The people are going to stabilize, they're going to unify, and then we're going to get out of there, and they're going to be fine on their own.
James, take it away.
You smoking something. You definitely smoking something if you think that's going to happen. It's going to be Iraq 2.0.
Yeah. I don't think you know what you're talking about, Jeremy.
Let's listen to what James has to say. Why do you think it's Iraq 2.0? Why do you think Iran is the same as Iraq? Is it because they sound the same? Is it because they both have fear in there?
No, shut up and listen. What's going to happen is we took out the leader. Now every wannabe leader is going to be vying for power. That's the same thing that happened in Iraq, the same thing that happened in Afghanistan. When we took out the big boss, all the little ones wanted to be in charge, and they're going to be infighting.
I'll tell you something too, Jeremy. If something happened to President Trump and we didn't have the system we have right now where, the vice president and then it goes to the head of Congress, that would happen here. Because you would have the conservatives saying we don't need MAGA, and MAGA would be like, fuck that. I mean, that would happen. That'll happen anywhere. If you don't have the government set up in place and you take out the leadership, that would happen anywhere. So yeah, the idea that it's just gonna be all peaceful now.
Why didn't it happen in Japan? Why didn't it happen in Italy? Why didn't it happen there when we left?
All that shit was occupied. Same in Japan.
When we left. We were in Afghanistan for years, occupying the country effectively. We for over 20 years.
Right.
When we left, they completely
went sideways. No, I'm telling you, for being on the ground, shit went sideways while we were there. Every place that we was in, we got attacked on a daily basis. It wasn't that we got there and everything got quiet. No, the news just wasn't reporting every time we got hit.
And I would also add, Jeremy.
I'm saying the difference is that the reason why when we left Japan, the reason why when we left Italy, the reason why when we left Germany, they stabilized and were fine without us is because number one, they had functioning governments, and number two, they didn't have warring factions.
Wait, hold on, Jeremy. Jeremy, hold on, Jeremy. Jeremy, hold on, Jeremy. Like DeAndre is saying in the comments, and I agree with him wholeheartedly. We never left them motherfucking places. Most of those countries were told they can't have a military. We didn't leave. We still in Germany. We still in Japan. We didn't leave those places.
Really? They run their own shit.
We are their defense. We are their defense.
They don't run their own shit.
They doesn't have their own military like that. They have a defense force.
Right.
They don't have a standing army.
Yeah, we never left them places.
Yeah, but they could easily kick us out.
No, they can't. You don't even have. How you gonna kick us out? You don't even have a military. Kick us out with what? You can ask us to leave. But if we don't want to leave, you can't do nothing about it.
They have their own governments, and so they're not fighting. They're not in a civil war.
If the United States says we're not leaving Japan or we're not leaving Germany, they don't have any way to make us leave.
We just have a few bases there. That's all we have. We don't have a standing military controlling their governments. We don't control those countries.
And then, Jeremy, you have to remember, after World War II, Guess what happened in Germany? Germany put a big ass wall in the middle, and they had two different parties on the left and the right. They didn't just automatically say, "Oh, we're going to come back together." No, they separated off of their beliefs.
No, that was the Soviet Union who took half of this. The Soviet Union and the United States divided up Germany, I should say, against their will. The German people weren't war with each other. They weren't angry with each other. They didn't have most Germans were actually liberal. They weren't communists.
Jeremy, I think you're too young for this. I mean, for this conversation, to be honest with you.
Definitely too young. And I'm Germany too, Jeremy. And I'm telling you right now, they weren't born with each other, but they weren't getting along either. They weren't shooting at each other, but they damn sure didn't get along.
No. Their governments didn't get along. The people hated the wall. The people the whole reason why the Berlin Wall fell was because of how many people hated the communist government that is in East Berlin.
So you actually believe, Jeremy, that Iran's going to be okay now, even though we took out their.
It's going to be just fine.
Okay.
Now,
So
I don't think that President Trump was doing this because he loves the Iranian people. He wants oil and to do what Daddy Netanyahu says. Okay, I'm not pretending that that his motives are good, but it's not going to be the same. You guys are pretending that every country is exactly the same. They're not.
But we're saying from recent track records, Syria, Libya,
Right.
Iraq, Afghanistan, all those places destabilized after we went in and did a regime change.
The only way Iran maintains any resemblance of peace is they're gonna have to basically do everything Israelis and Americans want. If they put in a leader and that person does not like the United States, this shit is going to come right back because it's America that wants them to do what we believe should be done in that region. We're playing the world's police. If they don't follow our lead, we're gonna have problems again. So
I have no doubt. I have no doubt that that's the case.
Then they're not going to be fine. As long as they're under the thumb of the United States, they're not fine.
What I'm saying is that as long as the United States keeps its nose out of Iran outside of like stabilization efforts, which will be temporary. The Iranian people, and I'm just going to call them the Persian people because that's what they call themselves, and they don't speak Arabic; they speak Farsi. And the Persian people will be just fine, and they should rename it.
Jeremy,
there's an issue with what you're saying. First off, Trump can't put any forces on there. Like the most he can do is lob missiles. He has to go through Congress to put boots on ground, and that's what you're going to need in order to stabilize that area.
I don't know about that, James. We're talking about Trump. You don't have to go to Congress to do shit. He could change your fucking money and put his face on it without using Congress. We're talking about Trump.
He'll just put his penis.
Right. We talking about Trump. We ain't talking about a regular president. We talking about Trump. So I don't know about that, but I will say, Jeremy, you said if Trump doesn't meddle in their business, they'll be all right. Or better yet, if America doesn't meddle in their business, there is zero chance of that. There is zero chance of that. We're going to meddle. We probably already talking to Netanyahu about, who would be a good leader right now. We probably already doing that shit. So we gonna meddle for sure.
They know that if they choose anyone but the Shah, they're gonna have infighting, and it's not gonna go well. The Shah is the favorite of the people of Persia to take back the country.
Yeah, I don't care if they put in a leader that gives nothing but harmony in Iran, in that country, and everybody's friendly. If they're not doing what Israel and America wants, there's going to be problems.
Yeah, but they know that. They know this is a rebuilding period, so especially with the oil, they're going to play ball.
They're not going to play ball. They're not going to let Israel dictate what they want to do.
Right.
Not long term.
Not even short term. At all. Right. Not even short term.
Have you ever heard Sun Tzu's quote? When you're strong, pretend to be weak. When you're weak, pretend to be strong.
They ain't gonna pretend. Yeah. They're not gonna pretend to be friends with Israel. Is what you're getting at. That ain't gonna happen, man. I mean, they've been just like we've been hearing death to America and not being. We haven't been friendly with the Iranians since the hostage scandal back in '79, before you were born. They've been enemies with Israel forever. They're not gonna all of a sudden be friends with Israel, even pretend like they are, what has just happened. It's not gonna like.
But it hasn't been. But it's not the '80s anymore, dude. It's the 2012.
They just killed 51 innocent school children today. They just did that.
They're not going to forgive that.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Persian people don't like what the government has done. They've had over 40 years of oppression to see how different they want the government to be. There's not going to be loyalists hanging around. Like there's maybe going to be like, I don't know, like maybe 5% of the population and that are loyalists that are going to get their asses whooped and are going to have to go into hiding. It's not like when the Ba'ath Party was on the run, but they still had massive popularity.
I gotta move. It's over time, but I think you're really wrong on this, Jeremy. And I would give you credit if I thought you. I think you're way off on this. Some people we hate that region, and that region hates us, and that's not going to change with the death of Khomeini. They've been at this stalemate like this. I don't know, most of their lives. Most of the people that are probably not baby boomers from that. Most everybody else has been hating us most of their adult life. You're not going to change that with this.
Not at all.
All right, gentlemen.
I'm just saying.
Appreciate it.
See you around, time.
All right, anytime. Thanks for the gal, by the way, as well. All right, moving on with the program with the Galaxy video. Tap the screen. I had forgot about that, but yeah, if one person is speaking and you disagree with them, a Galaxy will bring you up and you can actually harmonize with them. And I know the word I should be using is not harmonized, but anyway, tap the screen, get us on up to 115,000. Follow us if you happen to be watching on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Substack. My YouTube viewers, I need you to smash that like button. Help your boy out. That oil is running out, so they need to westernize that region. I don't believe that's the case. I mean, the western portion of the planet is who uses all the damn oil. I don't believe that's the case. And not to mention, we're not going to help them out with the oil for their benefit. We're doing that for our benefit. And it won't be long before you get another leader in Iran that starts telling his people they're exploiting you and taking our resources. They're exploiting us and taking our resources. It won't be long, no matter who Iran puts in place. They're not going to like the West. And then, of course, we can always throw in a side order of religion. The fact that we're Christian-based and they're Muslims, and Christians don't like Muslims and Muslims don't like Christians. It ain't going to work, folks. You ever been in a relationship and you just had to tell your partner, this shit ain't working out. This is not going to work. It's not going to work, folks. I don't believe there's any hope of us having a decent relationship with Iran. The two nations have been hating each other for far too long. They've always done it. Like I said, Western people take resources. Yeah, we do. There's a reason why we're on top. It's because we've deliberately put people on bottom. For instance, south of the border, all them countries, Venezuela, Guatemalans, Nicaraguans, all them folks that are coming here, immigrants, as some folks would say, poisoning the blood of this nation or whatever the hell you want to say, or as Trump say, emptying insane asylums and prisons. All of those nations that are sending people here, if you look at their history, America has influenced their countries, and not for the better. Not for the better. Venezuela, you can even talk about Haiti and all them countries over in the Caribbean too. America has had influence in their countries, and it has not been for the betterment. So they're trying to get here to get a better life, but fact is, their countries would be in better shape had America never had any influence in it. So we'll see. The retaliation is a last effort before they start killing people. They can't possibly be dead serious with their attempts right now. They want to go back to the negotiating table, but I don't know why you would negotiate with the United States. I mean, they negotiated with the United States during President Biden. During President Obama. Iran came to the negotiating table with President Obama. They satisfied the request of America under President Obama. And we had peace between the two nations. Trump became president and said what Obama did was a dumb deal, and we're going to just throw it out. So now the two nations are at odds. Most of the free world suggests that Iran didn't do anything wrong. It was just America changed to a leader that was no longer pro-Iran. So the point I'm making is, why would you come to the negotiating table with Trump and America when Trump just proved to you that the next guy after me could just break the deal and say it's stupid? If you're negotiating on behalf of Iran, the first thing you would say to Trump or whoever he sends over to negotiate with you, like it's Rubio or somebody, why would I make a deal with you when you just broke the deal I made with the last guy? How do I know the next guy ain't gonna do the same thing you just did? You just showed me your country's word is only as good as who is currently in power. What would be the goal of making a deal with you? The next guy may just break it. So yeah, for Iran to come to the negotiating table at all makes no sense to me. Once Trump broke the deal we had under Obama, he basically showed the world we're only as trustworthy as who we currently have in power. Now, many folks believe that Obama did make a bad deal with Iran. We can debate that. If Obama made a bad deal with Iran, we can certainly debate that. But the fact is, when you give your word, it has to mean something. I always use the example of you go buy a new car and you go to the dealership, and at the time, the owner's wife is sitting on the other side, but she has the right to run the dealership. She sells you a car $5,000, $10,000 below the manufacturer sticker price. Great deal. You buy the car. She's authorized to sell it. You buy it. All of a sudden, the next day, her husband is at your house with a tow truck. My wife made a bad deal. I want the car back. Would you ever do business with that dealership again? Would you ever trust them? Your dealership signed on the dotted line. I give you this much, you give me car. Now all of a sudden your husband comes in and wants to go. Would you ever do business with? That's what Trump did. Obama signed on the dotted line. Trump comes along, boom, bad deal. We don't want it anymore. Why the hell would you why would you enter into another deal with the United States? To me, once you do that, your word is garbage. Your word is garbage, in my opinion. Anyway, looking in the comments, who are many believe you sound like Trump, Tim? Many, what are you talking about? Many people do believe the deal Obama made with Iran was a bad deal. Many, when I say many, I mean MAGA. A lot of Republicans believe the deal that Obama made was a bullshit deal with Iran. But like I just said, even if it is a bullshit deal, just like the wife that sold you the car for 10 grand below sticker price, once you put your word on a dotted line, that has to mean something. Now you can offer Iran some, sweeten the deal and try to get them to change terms, but you can't just break your word. Trump just broke it, period. Just broke the deal completely. He didn't give Iran anything, just basically said, the deal you made with Obama, we're no longer honoring it anymore. Why would you make a deal with him after doing something like that? Anyway, looking in the comments, though, it's not about trust. We could prove they broke the deal. Iran said good deal and turned around and enriched uranium anyways. That's why we bombed it. Actually, that's what you heard from the Trump administration. But the West totally disagreed with the notion that Iran was breaking that deal. That's what you heard from the Trump administration, Marcus Allen. You're saying that Trump broke the deal because Iran was not honoring their behalf. None of our allies agree with that. None of them do, which is why you notice none of them are helping us out with dealing with Iran. None of them are on the world stage saying that Iran broke the deal. Think about all of the G8 summits we've had. And things. You don't hear none of them complaining that Iran broke that deal. None of them are on record ever saying Iran broke that deal. They're on record saying that they were actually honoring it. That's what you heard from Trump, period. Anyway, let me go back to the box and we'll continue on with Shine. I don't know what I just hit there. We'll make it happen, but tap the screen, folks. Get the likes on up. Get us on up to 120,000, if you will.
Hi.
Hey, Shine, good evening.
go back to the box
Okay, wait a minute. You got me playing in the background.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I'm gonna have to drop you because we're listening to an early part of the program. I don't know somehow, some way you got me playing from earlier. I'll give you a minute to fix that, and we'll see if we can try it again. I'll bring up Democratic Socialists. We also are on Substack for any folks who want to come up on other apps. We're on Substack and Instagram. Same name across all platforms. By the way, we're on The Handsome Liberal is the name we go by. Truth Social, Rumble, Instagram, TikTok, X, Bigo Live. We're all same name. So if you use any of those applications, do your boy a solid. Give us a follow. We'll wait and see if Democrat Socialist comes up. Otherwise, we'll move on. This ain't a way. It was a combat operation. It's over already. That actually is not what we're hearing. We're hearing that this may go on for days, if not weeks. We're not hearing that this is over with. That's something, I don't know where you're hearing that from, but I'm not. Has Trump made any statement to suggest this is over with? Where are you getting that information from? Donald Trump be like, I tried making this easy for Iran, but it's hard. Shut your bitch ass up. He ain't making it easy for Iran. He's basically telling Iran, either you let me punk you out on the world stage or we'll kill you. How's that making it easy? He's pretty much saying you're going to bow to our will, being the United States, or we'll kill you. That's it. That's all he's offering. Do what we say or we'll kill you. That's not making it easy. It's making them look like shit. We're not offering Iran anything for their troubles. Nothing. Either you do what we say or we're going to kill you. That's it. Let me go back to the box. I don't know what happened with my Democrat Socialists on the other side, but we'll try it out with Amir. Good evening. Welcome to the program. And I can understand why any leadership would not bow down to somebody saying, do what we want or we'll kill you. Amir, good evening.
Are you good?
I'm good. I'm good now. I can hear you loud and clear. So do you favor America taking out the head of state in Iran?
Look, I can tell you how I feel. I'm from Iran, and both of my parents are from Iran, but we live in Sweden. And I'm so thankful for everything Trump has done and Israel. I'm so glad they killed that little rat.
Now, were you born in Iran?
No, I was not.
Okay.
But my dad, he fled Iran because of the Iraq and Iran thing. So but we don't like Iran. We want it to be like great again. But
you want Iran to be great again. So you really a true supporter of Trump because you're using his words. Do you think taking out do you think it's going to be great again by taking this guy out?
Yes, I do think so. I think that if Trump kills the terrorist in Iran, it will be great again.
So you don't believe there's anybody that favored the deceased that may want his position? You think it's just going to be harmony in Iran now?
I don't understand what you mean. Can you maybe
Okay, you've taken out the leader. You don't think that some of his
yes, of course,
his lieutenants? I mean,
of course, yes.
So why do you think the country's just going to become peaceful now?
I think the country is going to be completely peaceful in about, to be honest, like maybe 100 years, because it's not that easy to make such an Islamic country right away, like safe.
Okay.
And I feel like wait, I forgot what to say.
Now, are you favorable to Israel? You think that's a good country?
I love Israel.
You got Iranian roots.
And I love Israel.
Well, Israel don't love you, I'll tell you that much. I don't know.
No. I know what you're saying, but they don't love Iran. I'm not Iran. I don't like Iran either. Like, I like the old. Like, I want the country to be good again. I don't want the country to be like.
You want it to be more westernized, which is what it was back in the 70s.
Exactly.
I mean, I understand. I mean, a lot of the younger folks over there, from what I can tell, do. I mean, because listen, the Western culture is more freer than the culture they have now. So I can understand that, but you haven't, because you haven't been there. You don't know. Like, for instance, 51 school children were killed during this attack. Are you aware of that?
Sorry.
Huh?
Yes, I know.
And your opinion on that is?
Not good.
Now the nations that you're favoring killed those schoolgirls. You think the people in Iran they're gonna just overlook that one?
But you know what? I think that it's better that at least someone do something than just let it be.
But is this the way to do it though? No diplomacy, nothing. Just go in there and kill the head of state.
No.
Okay, so you do see, to some degree, you think that Israel and the United States at least got some of this wrong then?
Yes, of course. Okay. But I like. Wait, are you a Trump? Wait. Now I gotta know. What is your opinion about this?
My opinion of it is we don't give a damn about the Iranian people. We have other alternatives. We have a different agenda there, but we find a reason to go in there and make it sound like what somebody like yourself might like to hear. But at the end of the day, it's not like America's going to donate international funds and things like that. Like these girls that got blown up. They're not going to. We're not sending a Peace Corps over there to help these people out. I mean, we're not going to do anything for that country whatsoever. So we're not there to help.
Yeah, but why is Trump helping them?
He's not helping them. They have resources. That's what we're looking at. Not to mention, we want control of the region. And this is one of the countries that was putting up resistance to us being in control. We don't give a damn about the people in that country. We're not going to donate funds to help folks that may have lost their houses or got limbs blown up. We don't give a damn about those people. What we are concerned with is in that region, we want control, and they were getting in the way. That's it.
All right.
I mean, we're not going to offer anybody the ability to come over here and live, asylum. Think about how oppressive and bad that government you're talking about. Trump banned them from coming here. If we cared about them people, we would at least, until we did what we did today, would have given them a way out and allowed them to live here temporarily. We kicked them out and was deporting them back over there to that.
But you don't like Trump. No, I'm sorry. You don't like Iran.
I'm not completely on either side when it comes to Iran, because I know, as I stated, America wants control in that region. So everything we hear in this country about Iran, I'm not certain it's all accurate.
All right. Okay, I'm going to be honest now. I had a really, really hard time to understand what you were saying.
You weren't honest before?
No, like, I understand 50-50 about what you're saying.
Okay. What I'm saying, okay, let me make it clearer. We want dominance in that region, in the Middle East. We want to be the police of the Middle East. Iran does not want us to have control over what's going on with their country or what's going on in that region. So this is one way of exercising our dominance. We do not care about any casualties that took place in Iran in regards to what we were doing to impose that dominance. We don't care about what happened over there. If that country comes together, fine. If that country doesn't come together, we don't care. As long as you do not get in the way of the United States having dominance in that region, that's all we care about. We don't care if they get along or if they don't get along.
But I agree with you. to be honest.
Okay.
Like,
yet you think President Trump is doing a great job for that country.
yes.
Okay. Even you agree with what I said, though, that we don't give a shit about the people, whether they got blown up or not. We just want them out of the way. But somehow you're also saying he's doing a good job for them.
Okay, so you don't give a shit about the people like the girls that died in Iran.
Right.
Do you like ICE?
No. They don't give a damn about the people either.
Do you like Trump?
What?
You like Trump?
I don't favor what he's doing, Trump 2.0, no.
But, like...
Take your time.
No, but this is hard, man.
It ain't hard if you just pay attention to what's happening. I don't think it's that hard. I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, you can tell if somebody cares about you or not.
It's only been one day, and you're judging too much and too fast. Okay, I'm gonna say my.
Hold on, let me tell you why. I get your point about it's only been one day, but it has not been one day when you look at the fact of what you're talking about, which is true, which is Iran was an oppressive place for its citizens. And then when you look at how America would treat citizens of Iran, saying we need to get away from here because it's terrible, and we would tell them no, and we would send the ones we had here back into that oppressive environment. I'm using that information to suggest we don't care about those people.
But you know that America loves Iranian people that move to America.
Not our government, not our current government, they don't. I don't know what happened, but my last caller just dropped. I don't know if he dropped. I don't think he got censored, so he must have just dropped. Anyhow, we don't block, ban, or censor, so it is what it is. But Cardinal in the comments says this guy thought Tim was a full-blown Trump. Fattened out. Well, look, I am MAGA friendly. I'm 100% MAGA friendly. I believe that MAGA do not often get treated fair in the media. So I make sure on my program when MAGA speaks, they get to speak without censorship. We don't do that here. That's why you see the hat to let them know. Don't worry about that on this program. We will, as far as I can, defend your right to free speech. But some people do take it as you're hardcore MAGA because you got the hat. Why the hell would you have the hat? So some people take it that way. Yeah, maybe he went in that direction. But yeah, I don't think we care about the people of Iran. And certainly not under the Trump administration. I think even less so. I don't think the Biden administration cared about the people of Iran. But yeah, the Trump administration, he banned them from coming here. So it's even worse under Trump. So yeah, the idea that Trump is all of a sudden trying to help out people of Iran, that's crazy. Bro, fuck all that Iran shit. I'm more worried about the Mexicans. Their cartel leader got fucked up and the U.S. was backing the Mexican military. That is a story. We covered that. That is a story, by the way. But it seems like things have calmed down significantly in Mexico. Because the Mexican government is obviously not in on it. The problem with that in Mexico, though, is as dangerous as the cartel is, as bad as things are, they provide a lot of employment, a lot of wealth for the average citizen. I forgot what percentage it was, but I read that a good percentage of employed Mexicans work for the cartel. If you get rid of the cartel in Mexico, it's going to be, I believe, it's almost like the drug dealer that hands out turkeys at Christmas and shit and looks out for it, make sure there's no, he don't want heat in the neighborhood. So he don't deal with petty robberies. I don't want any old lady getting robbed, or I don't want you snatching somebody's purse. We don't want the family business to be fucked with. So there are some benefits to it. The cartel are not good people. They don't respect or value life at all. But I'm saying a lot of the jobs in that area is coming from them. I don't know how that was going to turn out, but it doesn't seem like the violence in that area, it looks like it calmed down somewhat. because the tourists and things like that have been able to get out. But anyway, looking at the comments, now comes the still when it comes to the midterms. Midterms are going to be a mess tomorrow. The midterms are going to be a mess. It's pretty clear at this point that the Trump administration are going to interfere with the midterms some way or another, probably by way of suggesting that there is some sort of national emergency and using that to unilaterally come up with all kinds of executive orders, suggest that there are widespread amounts of illegals voting, so you flood the polls with ICE or something. I mean, he's going to say it's a national emergency, and then he's going to act on that. That's been the MO of Trump in a lot of these things. Is to create it, is to suggest there's an emergency for some reason, not give you any evidence that the emergency is real, but then start imposing laws based on the emergency he said it was happening. I mean, you see what was happening with the Venezuelan drug boats. He didn't actually prove that was going on. He just started acting on it. I mean, so it'll probably be something like that. And that could end up being a mess. You see what happened when they went into Fulton County and snatched all the ballots. I mean, stuff like that. And once they have those ballots in their possession, you don't know if that stuff's being altered or whatever. You just don't know. You seen what has happened with the Epstein files. Files are missing and shit like that. You seen what happened with Renee Preddy and Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy's death in Minnesota. They banned anybody else from taking part in the investigation. They just called them both domestic terrorists and would not even let anybody get involved. Now, even if you believe that both of those deaths were justified, why would you ban anybody from participating in the investigation? So you just have to take what they're saying at face value. They don't give you anything else, no evidence. So that's probably something like that's going to happen in the midterms. Say some cheating has happened in certain poll offices, go in, demand that they, get one of those Pam Bondi, what do you want to call it? When they go in, not a subpoena, but a search warrant or whatever. Get one of those things authorized by the Justice Department, and they just take all the shit with them. And there's no way to know if what they're giving you back has been altered. This is no way to know. I mean, something like that. So it's going to be a mess. And it's only going to be in Democratic precincts. Guaranteed. It's not going to find any voting issues at all in Huntsville, Alabama. It's only going to be happening in Democrat areas. You know what Trump has always said. Since day one, all of the fraud he's found, 100% of it is in Democratic areas. Republicans are the most honest people to walk the earth. 77 million Republicans voted, 100% honest. It's just all Democrats. So it's going to be a mess. Anyway, 678 says the courts will stop him. They should. Are you 100% certain of that, though? Are you 100% certain of that? Think about that. Why are you starting trouble? By giving my prediction, Linda? I'll take yours as well. This is a free speech show. If free speech equates to starting trouble, I think you have a problem with the First Amendment. Republicans are the biggest liars and most delusional, says Cowboy. Democrats tell some lies, too. There is a conflict between old money globalists eating infants and new industrialists like Elon Musk, etc. Ooh. And I'll tell you something real quick. Robert Kennedy in the comments said I'm fear-mongering with what I was just predicting. Could be. But I'll tell you this. 2 years ago, towards the end of the Biden administration, if I had told you President Trump is going to send the U.S. military into American cities against the American people, you'd have said I was fear-mongering then, too. If I had told you, no, it ain't just going to be rapists and murderers. He's going to be deporting grandmas, anybody, I don't care how long you've been in the country. If you're out here completely legal, he's going to get you, too. You would have said it was fear-mongering. He's done a lot of things that if you had said he was going to do this stuff 2 years ago, it would have been fear-mongering. He's went way above and beyond. If you had to describe what was going to happen in Minnesota 2 years ago, where you're going to have police roaming around the cities wearing masks, they're not even going to have IDs. I'm telling you, it's going to be so bad. He's going to have ICE roaming around with masks on. They're not even going to have to tell you who they are. you would have said that's fear mongering. You would have never believed that. So yeah, maybe it's fear mongering, maybe not. I'm just going to tell you that because of what we've seen happen. He's done some things right now that I know for certain. If you had predicted it 2 years ago, they would have said it's fear mongering. So it is what it is. Anyway, continuing on, tap the screen, get us up to 130,000. Obama and Harris warned us. Kamala Harris absolutely did say he was going to use the military against the people. She actually did warn us of that. I didn't believe her when she said that. He's went for. I've defended Trump and said he wouldn't do some of that stuff. Like, you got a lot of Venezuelan and Cuban descendants that supported Trump. If you had told them, if you vote for Trump, he's going to make it so that the way your mom came here through temporary protected status, she didn't come here illegally. She came here via temporary protected status like the Q. If you vote for Trump, he's going to get rid of that. They wouldn't have believed that because they damn sure wouldn't have supported him for doing that. He said rapists and murders. They didn't think he was going to do nothing like that. So he's done a lot that if you had said he was going to do that, it would have been considered as fear mongering. Imagine telling African Americans, I bet you if you get him in there, he's going to be talking about getting rid of Juneteenth. He's done so much for HBCUs and he got black friends. He ain't going to do no shit like that. Well, he's talked about it. So, yeah, he's done a lot of things that go well. He's going to be sending pictures out of Obama looking like monkeys and shit. He ain't racist. He ain't going to do no crazy shit like that. Anyway, let me go back to the box. People said Trump wouldn't do what he said. People said Trump wouldn't do what he said. He's saying during the election, Trump is a man of his word. No, this is stuff that Trump, there's no way in hell you could have said 2 years ago that if you elect Trump, we're going to be where we are right now with the Epstein saga, where we're going to still be, nobody's arrested. A ton of the information has not been released yet. And President Trump has shown everything from stop talking about Epstein and calling it a hoax. You wouldn't have believed that. Kash Patel and Dan Bongino would not even have believed that. So, yeah, he's done some things that you can paint it one way, but he's went in the other direction on a lot of stuff. Let me go back to the callers. The only true statement that Donald Trump has ever said is, I don't care about you. I just want your vote. Shut the fuck up. Wow. Shine, good evening.
Hi.
Much better, much better. So what am I getting wrong here?
So the problem really is just like America thinking, not America because we're obviously divided, but the part that supports Trump thinking that Trump's actually going to do anything for the American people, as in all American people. He's not seeing all American people.
I don't think MAGA ever believed Trump was going to do something for all. I mean, he promised to be a president of retribution. So they already knew he was going after the liberals, the people that tried to impeach him or tried to put a bullet in his body, as they say. They knew he was not going to be the president for all people. He never even promised that.
That's true. But I mean, even like there are lots of, MAGA voters who are now upset because not only the Hispanics, because the Hispanics chose Trump because of certain whitewashing cultures in Hispanic culture, not in American culture, but in Hispanic culture, where aligning with the, white supremacists.
Lighter Hispanics view themselves as above darker Hispanics.
Correct. I come from a family of whiter Hispanics, but I'm also mixed with black from my dad's side. I could see that from my Hispanic side, where they're trying to whitewash me.
Do you have any Hispanics in your family that supported Trump?
Yes.
Ooh. How do they feel about it now?
They still support him.
Wow. Really? So, I mean, I'm just curious. You don't have to say if you don't want, but I'm curious what country your Hispanic origin, where you're from.
So I personally only know about my origins, coming from Puerto Rico and all of that, which is mainly Spaniard type of Spanish.
That's definitely white. That's European white.
Exactly.
I get it. Well, oh man. Yeah, I mean, they still support him, huh?
That's only like one particular member still on that diehard cross. But he thinks it's because of the economy. The only reason why I go against him on that particular standpoint is because the economy right now, Trump wasn't lying when he said the economy is doing better in America, but he wasn't talking about the American citizens. He was only talking about big corporations. He wasn't talking about local businesses that are going out of
well, I would give him a little bit more credit than that. I mean, the wealthy Americans, people who have stocks, invested in precious metals, they're doing better. I mean, there are American citizens that are doing better, but it's not the middle class and the folks living check to check. No, they're not doing better.
Yeah, I know that for a fact. I'm one of those American citizens, Yeah. So I don't think Trump was lying in like a grand scheme of things. I think that he just has a narrow point of view, and that's what's the problem. That's the business problem, that they're only looking at that, the higher levels. They're only looking at like managers, directors, all that. Like, if we were to look at it in a small scale. But if we're looking at the crew members, the niggas on the ground, sorry for my language, but
No, I agree with that. I agree. The people who actually are that actually know how much a gallon of milk costs or a loaf of bread costs, they're not doing well. It's the people that have somebody, the nanny buys that all the time, or the maid buys. Yeah, them folks are doing well, but the people who are actually penny pinching and having to live, with every dollar having importance, they're not benefiting very well under Trump right now.
Yeah, and I believe that, when we vote as Americans, we should be voting for all Americans to at least be able to survive. Right, because I saw an article earlier and I did my research on it, and there's this old blind woman who her food stamps were cut twice. She lives by herself. She started off with $80, but with her disability, she was able to afford $100 worth of groceries per month. Mm-hmm. And she was able to sustain on that.
Wow, $100?
Yeah, but she was able to sustain herself. But then once Trump came into office and his emergency, quote unquote emergency policy, not policies, but executive actions put into play, she ended up, after both deductions, with $12 from her food stamps. She's legally blind. She can't drive a car. And now she only has from her disability to be able to provide food for herself. And she's living off of only $65 a month for food.
Damn. Now, how about this in the comments? Jim Decker, I think it says, what about the notion that, Trump's in there, things are not perfect right now, but he says it's going to take time. How about, do you have any faith that even though things are maybe not where we want them economically to be, that if you give Trump a little bit of time, he could get us there?
I think we need to take care of the people before we can even approach the economy, because without the people to feed into the economy will eventually collapse. If we can't feed the people can't feed the economy.
Yeah, one of the things I say all the time, because we know Trump got a jet from Qatar and it has to be refurbished, and that's going to cost millions. He's talking about building a tribunal in DC. I would like for him, before doing all these lavish things, to deal with situations like this that the average man, he's doing a lot of, he's had a military parade in DC. I don't know how much that cost last year. Stuff like that. Like, you got Americans that are in situations like what you just mentioned with this blind woman. Like, take care of that stuff before you start getting ballrooms and all this other lavish stuff. It looks backwards, in my opinion. Even if the money's coming from donors or whatever you want to claim, it still just doesn't look right for you to be.
I completely agree with
that don't
you.
look
I
right.
think you got a good head on your shoulders. I don't agree with Trump. I might not be a Trump supporter, but that doesn't mean I don't think you got a good head on your shoulders.
Yeah, appreciate that. I mean, like I said, sometimes optics are everything. Even if the ballroom is not costing taxpayers 1 cent, how do you find yourself in a position where you can come up with folks that are kind enough to you to donate millions of dollars to put a ballroom in? And why not get them to donate money for soup kitchens? Some stuff that can help people out. Now, a ballroom is just for you. Why not help? If you can get people to donate this kind of money, why not try to get them to donate that money for a decent cause?
Because they don't care, and they're the ones funding Trump. Trump is not a one-man show. He presents himself as a one-man show, and that's how the cult idea comes to play, because it's presented as if Trump is this, successful businessman that's going to run this country and bring everything good. In reality, he relies on his donors, and he's going to go where his donors want him to go, because that's where the money is. He's going where the money is, and the money isn't with those average American person who's living check to check because they can't afford to donate to his campaign.
Yeah, but the problem is he shouldn't be. Okay, he's not running for office anymore. So his job should be to look out for the benefit of this nation. You shouldn't be. I mean, dude's 80 years old. Why are you still chasing money? You fucking wealthy as hell. Your kids are all set for life. Why? What about the betterment for the average American? Why are you still chasing? Because you make it sound like you're still chasing money.
He may not be still chasing money for himself, but this goes back to one of your earlier callers in which they were talking about how Trump is afraid of Israel because, the Epstein files, his life may be at stake.
Do you believe that's possible?
I do believe that's possible, but I would say that makes Trump more of a coward rather than, somebody who's just feeling for his life, because we have American soldiers out there, boots on the ground every day, knowing that they may not make it home. Yeah. He is home, and he's still a coward.
I don't want to say the man with infinite Secret Service protection is a coward. I mean, I guess anything is possible. What you're saying for folks who weren't here earlier is that Trump is resistant on letting the Epstein files come out is because there may be higher entities out there that could take him out. You believe that there's some people out there that are so powerful they could even take out a U.S. president?
Yes, I think that it's possible to take out just about anybody in every country if you have the right, backing. I think the reason why nobody's messed with America so far is because America hasn't really been a problem. We go through our 4-year cycles of presidency. So that's why we go back on our deals. That's everything comes full circle on our 4-year terms. But what Trump, he's trying to prolong his presidency. He's trying to go past 2028. And that's where other countries are starting to be like, you know what, maybe America is a problem. That's where World War III would become a true idea of an issue. Because if we have somebody who breaks our Constitution, our amendments, that means they are no longer. America is no longer in control.
How about this? Because I totally understand why Trump is trying to get a third term. It's because he expects the Democrats to try to criminally prosecute him. So, how would you support having the Democrats promise that if he does not try to pursue a third term, they won't try to pursue any charges against him? Would you? I mean, even if something comes out, we're not going to mess with you anymore. Just leave our Constitution intact, sir. If you do that, we promise not to try to do anything. Would you support that?
outside of any charges regarding the pedophile stuff,
I'm saying anything, even if it comes out in the Epstein files that him and 3 8-year-olds got together. I'm just simply saying, for the sake of protecting the Constitution, would you be willing to take that on the chin? I know how awful it is, but we're saving the Constitution. Would you be? Because right now there is. I mean, I don't think Trump could be.
You know, I would.
You would do it.
Yeah, only because I believe that American citizens and our communities have been pushed so far that I feel like even if we made that deal and all that went through, there would be cartels and everything like that, because cartels don't mess with children either. Like,
so you mean we won't do anything criminally in terms of officially, but there may be a backdoor entity that gets them anyway.
Yeah, I honestly think that America has been pushed to that point. I believe that if he stays in power past this term, that we may see a true civil war, like a civil war that overturns our current government, because we're seeing all types of hate. I used to be a behavioral technician. This behaviorally, what I'm seeing is we're either going to overturn or we're going to just submit. And it's going to happen one way or another. There won't be a middle ground behaviorally.
Yeah. And I've asked my MAGA viewers, because of course the hat says "Make America Great Again," and one of the questions I often ask is it possible for us as a nation to become great if we have leadership that is deliberately operating on division? I mean, I don't think even the hardcore supporters of Trump believe he's trying to unite the nation. I mean, what he's doing is, in every aspect is clearly divisive. Can we be great while governed from a standpoint of division? And I agree with you, is that if you keep being divisive, eventually it's going to reach some kind of apex. I mean, it could lead to what you're talking about. Certainly the midterms we're talking about later this year. If there is some attempt to subvert the will of the people, and it's like obvious where all of the claims of fraud is in Democrat areas, and you're getting subpoenas to go in only Democrat polling places, you're claiming 100% of the cheating is in Democrat areas. That's obvious what you're doing. And I think what you're talking about could become a reality.
Yeah, so yes, I believe that, Democrat and Republican, that's just, furthering the division. That's how it started with our first Civil War. Yeah. Funny thing is, things were flipped completely the other way with our first Civil War. The divisiveness now is...
Yeah, but during the first Civil War we had, the divisiveness, it wasn't coming from the president, though. Abraham Lincoln was trying to keep us together. He wasn't trying. I mean, this is coming from the very top. He campaigned on, I'm going to be the president of retribution. So the minute you put me in there, I'm going to go after the other side.
And that's why we kept our government during the first Civil War. The first Civil War, we kept our current government because our president, the face of our government, was trying to unite. But now we have a president that is pushing for diversion, hate towards certain groups. That's why I'm afraid that we're either going to overthrow or completely submit. And when I say completely submit, I mean those who are hated by this current government may just leave, and we're going to end up a country of kind of just useless elitists, because all the hardworking people are going to try to leave.
I'm going to push back, because it sounds like you almost are making it sound like Trump is trying to be a dictator or something to that. And I'm going to say, if we get that type of environment, the first thing an authoritarian government does is prevent people from leaving, because you do need worker bees. You need them. So you're going to prevent a certain amount of them from. It'll be harder to leave, so that you can keep them in to do those jobs. Now, it may be people like you and me. It may not be immigrants. They may just find members among our society and make them do it. Like in Germany, in Germany, for instance, they started making it harder to leave. And if the Jews could escape, they left with nothing. And the ones that were left behind, they made them work. They made them do those jobs. So they didn't get immigrants. They did it to part of the population.
Yes, but you could see that they're already trying to do stuff like that. Like, for example, in Texas, there were a lot of farmers that voluntarily cooperated with ICE to deport their immigrant workers, and now they're trying to bring in, African American Black folk into their farms for very little pay for 7 days a week. I saw one specifically in Louisiana. It was a blueberry farm, $11.25 an hour, 7 days a week, no PTO, 10 to 12-hour days.
Wow. Yeah, what they did, like after emancipation, when everybody was free, is they just simply passed all sorts of laws that were meant to net worker bees. I mean, loitering, it's against the law. So once it's against the law, they can then lock you up, and then they just sell, because once you're locked up, they can demand you perform labor. You know, most people who are incarcerated are required to do some kind of job when they're there. So now you got free labor. You got free labor.
Absolutely.
Just come up with a reason to lock you up. And now, I mean, it's like a backdoor way of slavery, so to speak. So I hope you're wrong on all of this, but I don't feel 100% confident that you are. Shine, is this our first time talking?
It is. I've been watching you for a few hours. Maybe I saw you a couple times before for a few hours, but I like your podcast and everything like that. I think it's a very diverse community, and I think, it can be a roadway for unification because everybody gets to speak their mind. We're one of the most diverse live streams you ever found. We'll take you from no matter what side of the political aisle you're on, but I do got to move it on for time. You're always welcome back. I do appreciate you coming in here. Good conversation. Come on back anytime. Yeah, you too. See you next time.
Appreciate it. All right, by the way, tap the screen. Get your boy on up to 135,000. Moving on with the program. What is it? 1150 isn't enough. What is the correct rate? What are you guys talking about? Hey, thank you for that, C. Osby. Appreciate the love. Thank you very much. Some of you folks helped your boy out with the TikTok cap and had mustache go. I think we got close. We're pretty close. So thank you guys that have supported the program. And C. Osby, certainly appreciate that. Looking in the comments here real quick. What does that say here? Be thankful for the work you have and freedom. People have so much time on their hands to stir up division instead of either work to better community or country. I like that. Jesus is the way. But as I say all the time on the program, we're not going to unite under divisive leadership. I mean, an army does not unite if the general is divisive. I mean, we're expecting the people to come together when the leadership is telling us to divide. That is just never going to happen. It's never going to happen. I mean, and when I say divisive leadership, you guys know when we were talking about folks were insulted by the video coming from Trump's account of all of the Democrats as jungle animals and the Obamas as primates and stuff like that. That's just division for the sake of division. There's no need to do that whatsoever. That should not be coming from a presidential account. I don't want to hear about a damn staffer. I don't even want to hear about that, because any staffer that would do that, can you imagine working for a president of the United States and doing something like that on your own? You're not going to do that unless you feel confident doing something like that. So the point I'm making is the country is not going to unite when the president is taking time out to do stuff like that. Now, listen, if you don't want, let's say with the transgender community, you don't believe they should be going in the wrong bathroom or playing against biological women in sports. So you pass a law against that. That's going to create some division, but that's policy. Some policies, pro-life, pro-choice, whichever way you go, you're going to be divided with the other side. That's policy. That can happen. But tweeting cartoons out, that ain't necessary. That's now you're creating division just for the sake of doing it. That is the only purpose of that is to make one side like you and one side hate you. That is the only purpose of doing something like that. So he's trafficking in deliberate division. I don't know how you become great under that. I just don't. Liberals cry over another victory. What is the victory, Yoshi? You're talking about the Iranian war? I don't know if the liberals are crying over it, but some of this stuff is politics. Let me make that clear. Some stuff is politics. If Biden did exactly what Trump just did, worked with Netanyahu, took out the leadership in Iran, did not declare war, did not get any permission from Congress, etc., the right would have problems with that. They wouldn't just you think they go celebrate Biden? No. Or celebrate Kamala or Obama? No. When Obama came on television, walked down the red carpet the night we killed bin Laden on my orders, the right was calling him narcissistic, saying that he was taking credit for killing bin Laden when it was actually SEAL Team 6. Talk about one of the greatest accomplishments in our lifetime, taking out one of the worst prolific terrorists ever. They didn't give him credit for that. So if Biden did what Trump did, the right will be having complaints with it. Some of this is politics. It ain't just, a Trump derangement syndrome, so to speak. The right would be criticizing Biden if he did in fact, most of the shit that Trump is doing as president, if Biden or Kamala did it, the right would be criticizing it. All of these executive orders, you think the right would be okay with this stuff? You think the right would be okay with having law enforcement walking around with masks, not having to identify? No, they would have a problem with that stuff. So some of it is politics. Alawan, thank you for your generosity. If we believe in Judgment Day, remember, God won't honor silence. Wow. The truth was exposed. Pedophilia, murder, crimes against children, and we looked away. Looking away is a choice, and we made this choice. That's a very strong statement, and I agree with it 100% because, as I asked earlier in the live, how the hell do you create 3 million pages of data on Epstein without arresting anybody? Those pages contain all sorts of fucking felonies against people. How the hell you got this big ass book of pages? How the hell nobody got arrested in all this shit? I mean, you just typing up crimes after crimes. Got the victim's name and the perpetrator. Ain't nobody been arrested in none of this. The judges that signed off on the NDAs know who these people are. The lawyers that wrote up the NDAs on both sides, on the NDA for the victim, and the person who paid off the NDA. All of them know who the victims are and who don't. I mean, there's a lot of Americans because he brought up God won't honor silence. There's a whole lot of people that are silent on this shit. Judges, lawyers know about it. And it goes way beyond Trump, Biden. Obama's Department of Justice know about this shit. So Eric Holder, he knew about this ring taking place. Same thing under Biden. Whoever his Department of Justice was, he knew about it. Trump's first department, Attorney General Barr, and all of them, they knew about this stuff. This has been going on for a minute. It's just that Trump decided to open up his mouth and indicate he was going to expose it all, which puts him in a different light. The rest of them folks knew not to say nothing crazy like that. Trump, I'm going to say whatever I got to say to get elected. Fuck it. No, you're going to be held accountable for this one, and that's what's happening. But, yeah, my guess is there's a whole lot of people that know what happened because you can't do all that damage without some. I mean, when you think about the island, he had janitors, maids, chefs, people that were doing the lawn care, the gardeners. You think none of them saw what was going on? Pool boys, you think none of them seen what was going on? You sitting in the pool with a girl that's 40 years younger than you, look like she should be in school. All of them saw that shit. So yeah, there's hundreds of people that know what happened. Hundreds of people that are keeping quiet. Anyway, let me go back to the box. One thing, like I said, I don't believe in block banning or censoring. We're all about free speech here. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including me. Your politics are not shamed here. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. But one thing I will say we don't like is spamming. And for some reason on TikTok, folks have figured out how to arrange the characters to create this dick. And you got a lot of folks doing it. You turn on an ABC special and they're talking about Trump and you see this going. I'm banning those on first sight. And I've been doing that today. So anybody because it has no relevance to the program. And I guess they got a cut and paste feature where they can just do it. So those I do block. I just look, it takes up several lines of text and people with actual points to be made, whether they want to criticize me or compliment me or enter a point on the program. You're stopping folks from actually putting in some legitimate text. So those I block immediately. Anybody posting that type of shit, I just block it immediately from now on. Anyway, looking in the comments, and people wonder why people come here. The U.S. keeps bombing other countries. Yeah, there's a lot of that to it. Let me go back to the box. Will the actions today affect war in Ukraine? No, because Russian war is very similar to Trump's agenda during the pandemic. He wanted to save lives during the pandemic, but he also wanted to get reelected and keep the economy robust. So he couldn't take the advice of the medical community and shut everything down because it would hurt his economy. So he kind of started giving out mixed messages. Yeah, you probably should get vaccinated, but it's your choice. Yeah, you probably should social distance, but if your state doesn't want to do it, you don't have to. So it became a conundrum of we don't know what the hell to do because your leadership is so cloudy on this, up to and including him getting his own family vaccinated and not even telling anybody. Well, the Ukraine-Russian war is the same way. He started out indicating that Ukraine started the war, then it was Russia went too far, then he went back to the Ukraine, you're flirting with World War III, then he had Putin come over to Alaska and meet him, and well, if nothing comes out of this deal, there's going to be severe sanctions on Russia. Nothing came out of the deal, no sanctions on Russia. So it's very similar to his handling of the pandemic. It's like, shit, whose side are you on? Do you favor Zelensky in the Ukraine or do you think Russia's a bad guy? Because it seems like the last leader that talks to you is the one you favor. When the Pope died, he met with Zelensky. You see him sitting there in chairs, face to face. All of a sudden, he wants to help the Ukraine again. A few weeks later, no more help. So you just don't know. I don't think the Iran conflict is going to change the Ukrainian conflict at all. My opinion is there's something about Trump and Putin where Trump only wants to go so far with Putin. For the most part, everything negative Trump has said about Putin, Russia, has amounted to lip service. It has had no actual action behind it. He's threatened Russia several times. It's lip service. Threatened to sanction them more. I mean, it's just been lip service. Have you seen any real meat and potatoes delivered at Russia? So I don't believe that it's going to affect that at all. I think that we just happen to have Zelensky hoping and praying that we get a new leader as soon as possible, because any other leader that governs this country would probably be more favorable to the Ukrainians than what we have. Gandalf history. Democrats voted against the 1964 Civil Rights Bill. True. Democrat Party was different back then too, though. I mean, think about it. The Democrats were the Confederate South fighting against the Yankees up north. Well, who's now honoring the Confederates? Defending their statues, renaming bases after them? It ain't the Democrats. Why would the Republicans fight against the Confederate South in a war that killed more Americans than any war in history, and then all of a sudden say, we need to protect the flag of our adversary and defend their statues? You don't even see the Republicans defending Yankee statues. Like, you were the fucking Yankees. You're actually defending the other side. Why aren't you naming bases after Yankees? You were the Yankees. So it's pretty obvious some kind of switch happened. We'll try it again. I don't know what happened with my last caller, but we'll make it happen with unknown. Impeachment is mandatory. Well, I don't know about that. We'll see. For some reason, it's not bringing up my callers. The Democrats getting rid of evidence. Don't know what you mean by that. We'll try with the next caller. For some reason, TikTok is showing me the guess, but not allowing them to come up. Okay, maybe there's a problem here somewhere. I see Epstein files. Textbook narcissist. Trump just made the job of the next president much easier. I don't think so. Everywhere the next president goes internationally, they got to answer for actions of Trump. It's just like if Marco Rubio or JD Vance or hell, even Hegseth for somebody runs for office in the future, everywhere they go, they have to answer for the actions of the Trump administration. Well, the next president will have to answer for the actions of the last American administration. So I don't care if it was somebody as far to the left as AOC. When you travel abroad, you got to answer for why the hell did y'all do this or do that or support this or support that. You got to, whoever the person is, they're going to have to answer for that. So I don't think he's made the next president's job easy at all. Because they're going to be having to explain. Didn't Obama get accused of going on an apology tour when he became president? Oh, that's going to absolutely have to happen again. It's going to have to happen again. So I don't know if he's made anybody's job easier. I think it's the opposite. Kind of like the Hangover when it starts. Look, man, we fucked up. Show me a country that supported the Ayatollah. China, Russia, North Korea. All of them, they're still supporting them right now as we speak. So you want to know a country that supported them? In fact, Iran was helping out Russia in their war against the Ukraine. So we'll go with that. AOC is for the people. You can hate her, but you know she is not in this for herself. Well, she's not for the wealthy. And they are part of the quote unquote people. She's for the working man. Just like the right tends to favor wealthy and the left tends to favor the working man. So none of them are in it for everybody. I guess I'm not going to be to bring a guest up. What the hell's going on? Don't know what's happening here. We'll try with Kathy. Yeah, don't know what's going on. That's only 1%. Nobody cares about that. Yeah, until you're the 1%, they do care about them. Not only that, but the 1% has average Joes that get affected by. If you fuck with the 1%, there's going to be some average Joes that are going to be affected by it as well, because they pass all of the pain on down to us. So if you fuck with a company and make them pay more in taxes or something, they're going to usually pass that on down, and it's going to be in the form of less jobs created, or less people hired. They may lay people off. They're going to pass that down. They are going to pass it down. So it trickle down. I agree with you, Luis. Trickle down does not work when it's good. Bad trickles down without a problem. So in other words, if you help further enrich the wealthy, there's no guarantee they're going to let any of that trickle down to you. But if you fuck with them and you mess with their money, that absolutely will trickle down to you. So the good doesn't trickle down, but the bad absolutely does. Tax the wealthy. What does that say? Tax the wealthy. Something. They're getting taxed, just not enough. Some folks might suggest. Why are Americans risking their lives for Israel? Because they don't have a choice. You join the military, you kind of sign on the dotted line that whatever you want to do with me, you can do. You become an asset. It's just like your car. If you want to drive your car through flooding rains and mud and not get an oil change, once the car is just an asset, you can do whatever you want. The military is kind of like that. Once you join the military, you're just a tool for them to use, and they don't always use you properly. They do not. Some of them folks are on some pretty long deployments right now. They don't always use you. They don't always use you properly. So it is what it is. Venezuela loves Trump. Iran loves Trump. And now Cuba hopefully will keep Cuba. Cubans will love Trump. You're wrong on all three accounts there, Amber. Venezuelans don't like Trump. They don't like Trump. And Trump don't like fucking Venezuela. Ain't nobody in Venezuela eating because Trump took out Maduro. They're not wealthier. He didn't create any jobs in Venezuela. Nothing. Why would they love him? Okay, you got one bad guy in your... Look, if you got somebody fucking with you and somebody you don't like, take that person out, that don't mean you're going to like the person that took him out. You can have two bad guys. I mean, Trump is deporting Venezuelans back into that chaotic environment. They don't love Trump. I mean, they see other Venezuelans on TV crying and shit because ICE is busting down their door. Venezuelans ain't celebrating Trump. And I guarantee the Cubans ain't. And you say, what other country you eat? Venezuela, Iran. And you think Iran loves Trump. Iran don't like anything that's under the stars and stripes. Anyhow, folks, the app has locked me all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and terminate it here. I appreciate the 133,000. I'm going to ask you folks to certainly follow the program if you are a fan of uncensored dialogue. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody. We're here most weekdays. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a sub. You happen to be watching on Instagram, TikTok, or Substack, follow the program. Until then, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Thank you.